Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. This is Geo, just Geo, one word, like share. That guy over there is my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Blue Ski fame. Welcome to Avatar: The Last Podcasters, and it's the day that Chris has been waiting for. I don't know, maybe for years, probably, maybe for years, and that's because all we're gonna do is talk about Attack on Titan this episode, and then another full episode where we're just gonna talk about Attack on Titan, and I think the only important notes is that we're going to talk about all of it, and it's going to be full of spoilers. And it's more recent about sometimes we do other things, not very often. I feel like sometimes we do things that we talk about and they're older, and I don't feel bad for spoilers, but it feels important here. Lots of spoilers, all the spoilers.
Yes. Do not absolutely. Even though Sean has this, one of the biggest things I think Sean is wrong about in life is that he'll claim, that he'll claim that spoilers don't matter. Like if they tell a good enough story, it doesn't matter about spoilers.
A good twist is a good twist. You can appreciate it whether or not you saw it already or not. You know.
The viewing experience is part of that. Like I still love The Sixth Sense. I still love watching
that's
it.
my point. It's still a great movie even the second time.
But there might be something. But I couldn't imagine. It's so much more enjoyable watching it the first time. You're messing up your first view.
Okay.
And sometimes you might not watch something more than once.
Okay.
So why mess that up?
I never spoil things for people on purpose just to be mean. Like I'm not an internet troll. It's just one of those things that, take it or leave it. But anyway, this show, easy to understand why people should go watch the show and form their own opinions before listening to our episodes this week and next week.
Yeah, Sean, I want to tell you, you're probably the last person on Earth that watched the anime because everyone watched it. You were just the last one.
There's literally two other people alive in this house that beg to differ.
Oh, you counting Camden? That's not fair.
He's a people.
Give him time. Give him 2 years.
He's watched the entire John Wick series. Okay, he watched The Godfather, both Gladiator movies. He's got a pretty wide repertoire of movies.
He's ready. He's ready for Attack on Titan. Honestly, like.
Anyway,
he was born girl. He deserves to watch Attack on Titan.
Well, so
I'm wearing my
Father
Wings
too.
of Freedom shirt today. The Attack on Titan Wings of Freedom. It's my only Attack on Titan shirt.
what's actually happening, and I watched all of Rick and Morty recently as well. I'm going through this phase where I want to watch all the rated R content before he becomes cognizant. So I've got this list of things like, no, I got to get through these before he's like 9 months and actually sort of hears
I think you're good until like 2.5.
What's the first legitimate question? What's like the first thing that your kids said? They're like, ooh, maybe it's a cuss word. Maybe it's just a thing you said. You didn't realize they were listening. What was Mackenzie's first like?
Honestly, my kids never curse.
Well, you don't curse, so that makes sense. Not in front of them, at least, as far as I've seen. I think 2 is reasonable. I think you can get away with a lot up to 2.
Yeah.
Then at 2, you start One Piece.
And then at 2, I start One Piece.
Maybe, I think my oldest son cursed one time.
And then maybe when they're 18, we'll be done with One Piece.
It's gonna take 6 months. No, wait, because in 2 years, you're gonna have 200 more episodes. So...
I'll tell you the same thing I tell Chris, and that's that I don't watch much television from September through December.
Gosh. But you do, like, when you work, you do watch a lot of it.
Oh, but
So if it gets dubbed,
no,
like...
but it has to be something I've seen before that's just on. It's just noise. It has to be something I've seen before. One Piece would probably be fine if I zone out because I'm working for 40 episodes or whatever. It's like, it's probably fine.
Yeah. But, like, some people, like, it's too much. Because, like, that's many episodes. But at least, like, it's good having something always to watch. Like, I hate finishing a series and not having to choose. And I always have that, I don't know what to do. 20 minutes, watch an episode.
I just get lonely and I gotta have noise. Gotta have noise on. But
what? You don't have Chuck breathing all the time? That's very loud.
he sleeps most of the day while you guys are gone.
Yeah,
Like
but he snores
90%.
loud.
Yeah, he does. He does do that. But hey, we've got a ton to discuss. And Chris, jump in, take it away.
All right. Like Shawn said, there'll be spoilers. And I'm going to talk through it in a chronological way. Although we might, like we do in conversations, might jump there and over there, forward and back
Sure.
and forward, things like that. But mostly it will be chronological. And this is going to be part one of part two. I did think of an episode idea of like we did with Harry Potter or Justice League, where we tried to guess what bending element some of the main cast would be. Because so I have Aaron Yeager here, as I just showed, and I just put him in the closest spot. Because usually he's down here with other anime characters, but Aaron spoke to me and said through the past said he need to be out front and center for this episode.
That'd be a fun episode as long as I get flashcards with pictures of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will need that.
But then I was trying to think what would Aaron be like?
My gut
He would
says
probably
fire, but I
be-
think that's too negative stereotypy. But
He could be the Avatar,
yeah,
but a bad Avatar, like the Avatar of Destruction.
Yeah,
funny you should mention that when you're not
Yeah.
you're not there yet.
Oh, come on. You just said you don't do spoilers.
But he's so bent on freedom. Like freedom is his thing that he might be an airbender. Which sounds weird because he's the complete opposite of like
He's not
we-
peaceful at all. Like
we
that's
have
the
to-
thing.
We have to treat airbenders with you have to try to remove some of this positive
The
bias we
religion.
have from airbenders, just like we have to remove firebender because he's trying to do something to everybody. It's you can't try to get past that part. Same with air. So he could be an airbender. He could be a Zahir type,
yeah. Well, that's another episode for another day.
Another
potentially.
time, yeah.
All right, start off. Like I said, become chronological, and I just want to bring attention to the title of the first episode, which is "To You, 2,000 Years in the Future." Sean, I don't know if you realize this, but the last episode, well, not the last episode, but in the last season, that episode called "From You, 2,000 Years in the Past," and that's just related to it's all kind of meta in the sense of Aaron talking to Ymir or Ymir talking to Aaron, their stories and how and stuff. So that's why the episode's called "To You, 2,000 Years in the Future."
Did you
See,
see
now
that?
I'm feeling now I feel really stupid because I probably never paid attention to an episode title.
Oh no, me neither.
Sorry.
Oh my!
That's the cool thing about I don't remember the name of the mangaka that he does, not love, and about the anime too.
Episode
it's
titles
Yama.
are one of Chris's specialties. Also, he's got a tremendous, and I
Chris, did you see the theory because of that title that Ymir, when she let the pig free, the pig is actually Aaron in the future, something like that, giving him freedom. Some people go crazy about some theories.
Somebody once wrote on a YouTube page or something on a clip of that flashback of this all happened because a pig got loose, and I wrote on it, "Pig want to be free too." It's like a meta kind of thing of everything wants to be.
yeah. I
Wants to
mean,
be
the
free.
pig doesn't dream of becoming bacon.
Yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
know what he's missing out.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't get to enjoy it. Or he
And then-
probably.
And I think I wrote in it oink oink. You guys don't. You guys watch the dub? I'm assuming.
Yep.
But when you, which is great, it's a great dub. But when you watch, there are certain words and phrases in the sub that became kind of iconic, and one of those is
yeah.
tatake, tatake. Aaron will be tatake, which just means fight. But it doesn't really, for some reason, in the dub, it doesn't come across well, and so I also wrote in there oink oink, and everyone got what I was saying because it's tatake.
It was a great dub just as far as audio quality and voice acting. Not that I have a huge realm of anime experience upon which to draw, but probably some of the better dub voice acting of any anime I've watched, if not the best.
I do feel the dubbing removes in some scenes. You remove the epic part of it, when the leader of what's his name? Not Armin. Wi-
Erwin?
Erwin. When he had like these when he told to the new recruits, and that was
Yeah.
very epic. It wasn't as good in dubbing.
I thought it was great, and like the my soldiers yell, my soldiers rage. Like I don't know because I understood it. They're both great. They're both great, but
Mhm.
I love that. Also, we met that voice. Well, I won't say we met with the voice actor, but that voice actor. I wish I could look it up if I wanted to. But that voice actor for Erwin is also voices a character in My Hero Academia. His name is um oh my gosh, LD, not LD, not LD. Um, Ingenuine, someone, whatever, the guy who's really fast in My Hero Academia.
Oh.
But in a panel like a couple years ago, maybe like 4 years ago, he was on that panel and he was really good. Like his voice he's just a
Is that
yeah,
the panel
great
with Dean
storyteller.
Kane? Wasn't.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
no, that was not that panel. That was a good panel too.
that
Wasn't
was
because of
fun.
Dean Kane.
Yeah.
It was because of Michael Rosenbaum and what's Tom Welling? No, Tom Welling. Who else was there?
I don't remember the third person. I
I
should, but I
don't.
don't.
But
That's a great panel.
it was a good panel. Uh, anyway, episode. I'll start off with so I don't have I I use AI. I feel like AI is getting a fully bad rap. Like anytime you mention anything AI, but I like AI for certain things.
I always remind
Specifically,
people that anytime you're playing a video game and another character makes a choice, that's AI. Just try to call that out to people.
I like using AI for. I understand the art and stuff and like artists. I think that recent Studio Ghibli stuff has really put in the spotlight on it because like its stuff actually looks good and that's
Yeah.
scary to
Yeah.
a lot of artists. Um, but I love using AI to be like, hey, give me a quick summary of this show.
Yeah.
Also, I had AI guess my age today by asking me 7 specific questions, and it
Oh,
guessed exactly what it was. It was like,
nice.
"Who is your crush?" It was like, "What was your favorite TV show?"
Okay.
On something. It wasn't like absolutely sure. It's just like, "I think you're around 37." I was like, "Yeah, I turned
That's
37 next
awesome.
month."
It's getting creepy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
bet. Well, nope. Another story for now. That's a big tangent. Anyway, sorry.
All right, sorry, we're already getting okay. So I grouped these things. First grouping was the fall of Wall Maria. So episode 1 starts off with Aaron like starts off with like quick flashbacks and stuff, and him crying, and he's like, "What the heck? I was crying,"
Mhm.
which is oh my gosh, it's a whole freaking like I told you before. This show doesn't waste anything, and just that one scene of him crying, sitting underneath that tree, is like hugely important for just the everything that happens in the show. Like he saw everything kind of in that moment. That's why he was crying.
Yeah.
Um, he saw everything
Well,
that was gonna happen.
yeah, and just, tone setting right out of the gate.
And then
Yeah,
like the Isayama, right? It's called. I always forget. He had to
Isayama.
know the whole story before writing it, because that's not
Yeah,
something you came up with. Like you just so specific. He had to know. Okay, this is gonna lead to this in so much far away. That's what I love. I love that. I love that so much. And it's in One Piece too, in the older shows that I love.
With all
wait,
due
One Piece.
respect to
He knows
One
how One Piece
Piece,
is
the
supposed to
best
end.
stories.
What?
I was to say, with all due respect to One Piece, the best stories, I feel like, is a whole story that's written and then done, and then that's it.
But that's
No,
similar.
okay, we're talking about Attack on Titan. I don't want anything to say about One Piece from you two. Okay.
That is that is really similar to Avatar. Actually, like Avatar is pretty much one thing. It sounds. I know we're on the Avatar podcast, and it sounds kind of derogatory towards Avatar, but Attack on Titan is a more complex story, right? It's like it's not Avatar's a complex story as well, and there's layers to it, and there's so much meanings behind stuff. But like the intricacies of the plot of Attack on Titan is woven in a way that like is way different than Avatar. Like the plot of Avatar is pretty easy to explain. I could explain to someone
Mhm.
in a pretty quick manner. But Attack on Titan is like, all right, bear with me for here. Pay attention to everything I'm about to say. And so for Isayama to like kind of at least have a map of where everything's going to go to for the first scene, put that your character is going to cry because he had a quick flashback or flash forward, whatever, of the events that's going to happen the rest of his life. That is some great freaking foreshadowing.
I mean, and Attack on Titan talks about heavier stuff. There's a clear connection to racism and all the stuff. Like, it's obvious. And
Yeah. I don't talk about heavier stuff. Avatar is like I would say it's more subtle, and also you got to give him that
yeah.
its target audience is
Mm.
Avatar is weirdly rated PG-7, which is
Oh, hi.
which is weird. Well, Korra is
Well,
more
the
weird. 'Cause it does
genocide
make
happened
sense.
off screen, Chris, so it's fine. Out of
Yeah,
sight, out of mind.
it's weird that Korra is PG-7 when certain things happen in Korra.
Yeah. Are all the seasons is season 3
It's all
all
PG-7,
PG?
which is
How
weird.
about that? Yeah, wouldn't have guessed.
I I don't know how the creators of Avatar got away with so specifically in season 1 and season 3.
It's
But
been a while.
they
Oh, Chris, I don't know if Sean told you. This is funny. I'll be watching Korra the first season, and you know that you cosplayed the bad character at Comic Con, and now every time I see him on screen, I just straight think of you. So for me, the bad character is Chris. Like every time I say, "Oh, Chris, why did you do that?"
The antagonist, Chris.
I don't even do it on purpose. It just happens.
That's hilarious.
You got some really cool powers, Chris. Though, like, I really like it.
How far have you gotten into Korra?
I wanna say 5 episodes. They finished
Okay.
the competition,
Yeah.
and I think that that there when he
It's into
attacks
4 or
and
5 in, right?
he
And that
attacks
that
and
episode is called "And the Winner Is."
yeah.
Is that the one where Lynn's awesome at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking does the freaking rope and stuff all into the freaking blimp up there. She
Oh, the
saves
daughter.
Korra. Her and
Yeah.
Korra like throws hands at that lieutenant. Great freaking episode.
Yeah, I don't like though that she has beef with Tenzin because of
Yeah.
they like each other teenager and whatever happened there's why no need it.
Unnecessary drama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Shawn, you and your lack of drama need. I keep thinking about like stuff in our fan fiction. I think Sean's gonna hate that. It's gonna be good, but it's gonna be good storytelling. But Sean's gonna hate.
He's gonna try to sneak in a will they won't they, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely, Sean.
And then
Yeah, that's
and then we're gonna Can't Buy Me Love Kitsune. Or what's the I forget what what's the version for black audiences?
is I want to say it's can't tell me. Oh my gosh.
Can't Buy Me Love
It's
Me
the
and
whole
Love Don't Cost a Thing Me. That's what it is. I don't remember
thing.
which is which.
Don't cost me. Yeah.
That's the remake for white audiences. Big full circle. Well,
All right. Aaron's a little kid. He wants to. He talks to his. He goes back home, chops wood. Mikasa beats up some people. He talks to his dad about wanting to join the Survey Corps. And Aaron's mom is like, "You absolutely cannot join Survey Corps." And she's like, "Grisha, would you say something to your kid? He's crazy." And then one of the greatest scenes in retrospect is Grisha telling Aaron, like, "All right, when I get back, I'll show you what's in the basement." And gosh, that scene, this show is freaking. Things come back, and it all makes it makes sense and be important.
That freaking
Grisha
basement.
leaves, never to be really seen alive after that. Attack, and then you get to meet a few of the you get to meet oh my
Armin
gosh, I
and
forget.
Mikasa.
Yeah, you meet Armin and Mikasa. Get a good sense of kind of what their world is. You know, Armin's kind of scaredy, but he's intelligent, loves books, talks about the world and stuff. Mikasa is BA,
You already
and
You already see that Aaron is gonna be useless for next 3 seasons. Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated him so much. He gets beat up like
And
the
then
first time he
like,
gets beat up with Armin or and Mikasa comes from. Oh, I just hate it.
Yeah, that's my motto for like the first 2 seasons. Bare minimum was Mikasa does everything.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, the man. She. If anything, really, the story. She, in a way, is the main protagonist, which is weird to say because she's so reactionary, and her things revolve around Aaron. But if you look at the show within the entirety of it, she's especially in the latter the season's finale, she is more of the protagonist than Aaron is. Um, Even though I know a kind of a bad person can still be the protagonist of a story, but in those last seasons, Aaron really isn't the protagonist of those stories. Like
I
it's not
did.
even from his viewpoint.
Yeah.
He's just like this. He's more so of this
Mm-hmm.
entity that is offending everyone else.
I did like
But
that.
Mika says probably,
How the focus kind of changes to Armin and Mikasa, and of course also like Jin and the other guys, but mostly Armin and Mikasa. I like how Armin changed all throughout the seasons. His character development. I love that a lot.
yeah, definitely. And then we get the big thing that's gonna happen, and it's the colossal titan breaches wall Maria. Titans get into the wall, starts eating people, and then like immediately this show becomes like, oh crap, like people are dying, and this is this is not not a good show. This is not. It's probably one of the most gruesome anime you could watch.
It's very grotesque immediately,
Yeah, I wanna
very
say,
visceral.
yeah, I
Yeah.
watched that first episode when I was 10. My uncle used
Why?
to. My
No.
uncle used to like get a lot of movies for us legally, like just download them. And he saw like probably somewhere, I have no idea, that episode, the first episode of Attack on Titan, like and downloaded for us. He gave me the USB, and I watched it because I didn't have anything else to do. That traumatized me a lot for a while, and I was very scared of that anime. But then one of my friends convinced me to see it, and then I will always be grateful. But that's not something you can watch before you're 12 at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My daughter was. I think I let her watch it when she was maybe 11. I think maybe 11. Yeah, she's fine. Before this, we do
She
meet
turned out
Hannes.
okay.
Yeah. Before that, we do meet Hannes, who's like a drunk, who's not a scout, but he is like works for the military and stuff. But that's important because like when Aaron's mom is about to like a big boulder lands on the house, and she's underneath the boulder, can't get out. Like Mikasa and Aaron are trying to get her out, and they can't. And and holy crap, this scene is man. I gotta hurry up. We're only talking about like the first freaking episode. This scene is like freaking gruesome. Like Aaron's mom's like, just get out of here. Like, just listen to me, little. Like, just leave. Like, she knows she's dead. And then Hannes comes, and Hannes is like, all right, I got it. I'm gonna kill this Titan. Right? He's all like, I'm gonna kill this Titan. He sees the Titan. He's like, oh crap. Never mind. Screw that. Let me grab the kids. And then even his mom was like, thank you. Like, you're thank you. And then Aaron leaves. Just that one scene of him reaching out to his mom, and then the smiling Titan picks her up and just kills her and bites her and eats her. And that alone set off the world.
Okay, I'm going very far, but the when our Aaron said that he intentionally basically killed his mom to save Bertold, that blew my mind. I don't know about you, Chris, but that was incredible for me. That was one of the biggest plot twists, I think, and that was
Really, I I and we can get to that. Might be one of the maybe the weakest parts of writing in the show for me.
really.
Uh, it's just it takes away And I don't know if Isayama did this on purpose to make Eren seem even more twisted or something, but it takes away some agency from. I said it's weird to say it takes away agency from him as a character, but it makes him less empathetic, and also makes the story a little bit more confusing. It's like
It does, cause he.
it's like Aaron's mother was killed. He wanted to kill Titans, but like it's like when did he know that he killed his mom? It becomes a certain point that, and this is kind of just part of the whole story at the end. It's like Aaron was helpless. He couldn't do anything to stop anything from happening. Like he tried. Like there's our iterations, I guess, of him like trying, and I want to say there's iterations as if there's multiverse and stuff like that. But like no matter what he did, he's on this path. But that part of it is just like, well, you didn't. I didn't feel he needed. I didn't feel the writer, the author needed to add that into it because it wouldn't have changed anything. Maybe it was his way of trying to explain, like, oh, well, why didn't like they showed an image of the Smiling Titan walking past Berto? Like, why didn't the Smiling Titan eat Berto? Like maybe that was him trying to explain that little bit of a plot hole. I didn't think it was necessary.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't think it was necessary, but it's the whole point of Eren fighting and hating Titan was they ate his mom.
Yeah.
He was all mad about it and everything, and then oh
Yeah, so it's like, who was he mad at?
yeah,
Like, it just makes you question more of Aaron's
insane.
motivation
Mhm.
and reason for doing things when it's like, well, it just made it more confusing than it needed.
It did make it
to
confusing.
be.
It's very confusing the time traveling or whatever of the attacking Titan. But that's the thing. Like, I didn't expect it at all.
That part to me
It was
made
so
more
random,
sense.
out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's why it blew my mind.
All right, to gloss over some things. Yeah, so Aaron's mom's killed. They all have to evacuate. One little bit of note on this is that when they evacuate to the interior of the second wall, they said that because of population size and that shorter area, they were going to run out of resources for everybody, and so they technically sent out, I want to say like more of the population to go out and try and reclaim the wall. They died. Like that's when Armin's dad died, and that.
Mhm.
So pretty much that attack wiped out 2/3 of the population of Paradise, or what do they call it at that point? They're just people within the wall, humanity. They just call it humanity.
Mhm.
At this point in the story, which I find interesting because if I do the math, like at the end of the show, if I do the math of, all right, what percent of LDO's population of the world was there? Because by the end of the show, they say like, oh, Eren killed like 80% of humanity. Knowing all these, but then they also say at the end of the show that LDO's population is close to the rest of the world's population. So then I did the math on it, and that means before the Titans breached the walls, LDO is probably about 11% of the total population of the world. Just to put in perspective of like the size of it and everything. All right. Oh, so now they time passes. When does Aaron's? I forget when Aaron's dad died, but that does, man, I'm drawing a blank on that.
He dies while they're going from Wall Maria. Like, well,
Mhm.
Eren doesn't
He goes
remember
and
it.
picks up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he goes in after the wall goes down. Aaron's dad
Meets
goes
with
and picks
Eren.
up and meets up with Aaron. Yeah,
Because he
but they
killed.
just don't explain it at all. Like they just go like straight to training arc. They just jump like straight
Mhm.
5 years to the training arc for the scouts.
They do jump a lot in the first episodes.
Yeah. All right. So now we get into training, and then you get to meet a whole bunch of people. And this is probably where Shawn was the most annoyed, just meeting
How many names do you
everybody.
remember, Shawn?
Maybe not none. No, maybe not right away, because you don't realize you don't realize sort of like people are gonna die and it's gonna be a depressing show, but I don't think you realize just how many of these people that you're gonna get kind of attached to for like a minute.
Yeah,
I
some
do
of
prefer
the
it to not get attached.
It was a slow burn of damn it,
Mm. Oh, I knew his name. Oh, no.
yeah, like they got there was Marco that you got introduced to, who was really close to John, and like a couple other people. They were like, oh yeah, they're gonna be in a group. Uh, like there was a
Then they're
girl with like
not.
black hair and pigtails, and there was someone else. Um, but so you get to meet all of them. The prominent people that you get to meet that at this point in time you don't know that is prominent. You meet Shawn, Sasha, Connie, Annie, Reiner, Bertolt, Historia, and Ymir.
And
So
Potato
those are like
Girl.
the main.
Is that
Yeah, that's Sasha.
Yeah, that's Sasha. Yeah, one of my favorite things. Uh, the military instructor is trying. She's just eating a potato. Imagine in the U.S. Army, you are lined up and someone is just eating potato chips while everyone else is lined up in attention. And it's funnier that it's just a
I'll
potato.
say it's
Like
better
that's also
than chips. That makes more sense. Just a regular
yeah.
potato.
And then she offers him half, which is clearly not half. She offers him. She splits him off like two, like 1/3 of it, which then comes back to Reiner's conversation with his family in Marley years later, and the way he tries to, I guess,
Describe
villainize,
or
describe and villainize Sasha at that point. But
Alienate.
Sasha just loves potato. Yeah. So yes, they go through a big little training thing. Not much. I mean, it's great. The training arc is great because you get a sense of these characters. I think mostly you get a sense of Annie, and you get a sense of probably specifically Reiner. Bertolt is kind of more so in the background.
But that's that's
And then
his character. He's not a leader.
yeah, yeah,
So I think that's also they try to show that. He tries to show that.
yep. Then they get all trained up. Then there's the Battle of Tross. So like they are ready. They're about to. This is like right before. This is right after their training, and then boom, they attack the Colossal Titan. Attacks again. Aaron is like, this time we're ready. And then they go, and then Aaron is like, hey guys, we're ready. And then like the four people around him immediately get killed, like very immediately, and Aaron gets injured. And then and Mikasa is so talented that she's like on the front line somewhere, away from Aaron. And then Armin is inside the Santa Claus Titan. And Aaron saves him. And Aaron's arm gets chopped off, and he gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn, what did you think about at that point in time watching the show? What were your thoughts when Aaron got killed?
I mean, I knew that he couldn't be dead, right? And so I guess I was, like completely curious as to how he wasn't dead. Bearman's like, all right, what twist do we got? So, waiting for the twist. But I didn't think for a second, even despite the other deaths, that he was dead. Like he had the big flashback at the beginning, the moment by the tree. Like I felt strongly that he was the perma protagonist.
Yeah. Did you think anything when in that first scene where there's like flashes of stuff, and then Aaron wakes up and crying? I thought nothing of it.
No,
Honestly, like I okay.
no, other than just
Yeah.
being like it, other than that it felt significant.
Yeah.
But even that's like, some of that was just like you and Gio's warning of like, hey, everything has a meaning. So you're watching. It's not so much that like, oh, I know what I'm supposed to take from this. Is like, I bet that's not just a random thing. That's there for a purpose.
Yeah.
I love watching with you, and every time something like that's gonna then be meaningful in the future happens, I will always watch you like that. Like, I wanted to see your reaction there.
He's like, what'd you think? And I'd be like, Of what? Which part was I supposed to?
Did you guys notice in the intro? I believe it's intro in this part. So they show all the cadets, pretty much the ones I mentioned before, and most of them are like facing one direction, but then Annie, Reiner, and Bertho are facing a different direction than them, and so it's supposed to like foreshadow or highlight that they were on the wrong.
Hmm.
They were actually enemies the whole time.
I think we skipped
I had
most
no
of
idea.
the intros and outros. I know that's sacrilegious, but
You skipped them? I mean, yeah, that's not too bad. It just depends on which one, I guess.
we would like listen to when we hear new music and
Yeah.
watch it
Yeah.
maybe once. Then sometimes because there was like sometimes where we didn't have much time, but we still want to watch an episode. So trying to go a little fast.
I also when I'm binging, I do that for everything. Like there's something about the redundancy if I'm like really on a binge where it kind of drives me nuts to hear an intro and an outro multiple times.
Mm.
That's a
Okay.
personal problem. Like even if it's great, I was like I already heard that once today.
And most shows you don't expect the outros and intros to change randomly
to be
or
meaningful.
meaningful. Yeah. It's just an intro and
Yeah.
outro. Most of them even just spoil things to you, so I'll prefer to skip them most of the time.
One thing I didn't mention was just the gruesomeness of this. I mentioned it somewhere else. I mentioned it when the Colossal Titan attacked first. And this time feels actually worse, more gruesome, and more hardened than the first time. Because, like, this time you see, like, the soldiers trying to fight. Like, they've been prepping for this. Like, before, like, it was like 100 years since the Titans attacked the walls this badly. So this was like, oh, we've had 5 years to prep, and like a lot of the soldiers are just like, no, we're done. Like there's
The
one scene where this guy has a gun and he's just cleaning it, right? He's like loading up and stuff, and one person next to him was like, that gun's not gonna do anything to the Titans. He's like, yeah, I know, and just and blows his head off. It's like, holy crap! Like this is the terrors of the Titans and what they mean. Like they've a lot of them felt powerless.
Mm-hmm.
the first one felt like and maybe I assume they did it on purpose. First one felt, at least to the audience, it felt or looked like a little more random. Like, oh, Titan showed up, got pissed, kicked through a wall. This one felt
Yeah.
more like nope, this is the gruesome horrors of war, in detail.
That's also why
Yeah.
I say it's a little heavier because it talks about that stuff and how human the characters are. There's not really a hero where he's the best, he can do everything, he's never gonna die. Of course, Eren is never gonna die, but whatever. But it's not like they're still super scared of the Titans, and they are human. And I don't know. I like the humanity that characters have. You know.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting to show when we think about the show in totality, to show like the people inside the walls have been dealing personally with Titans. Like it's very intimate for every single person in that wall, even less so the rich people, but the people especially living on the outer walls, like they either know someone who's been they either know someone close has been killed, or they face it themselves, and like they know the true terrors of the Titans, while really the rest of the world, at least to a certain point, don't know really. They don't experience
It'd
the
be more like
Titans.
boogeyman tales, as
Yeah.
opposed to nope, that's really right outside the wall.
Yeah. And then, all right. So then Mikasa is going around killing Titans, and she's about to die, and then she gets saved by a random Titan. Shawn and Jill, did you first time watching this? Were you like, oh, that's Aaron?
Uh,
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I had. I'm gonna say, because I'm not complimenting it, I'm gonna say a blank-minded reaction of, well, I hope that piece gets filled in a second.
I think I remember knowing, being like, "Oh yeah, that's Aaron." I don't know if it's because of how much anime I've watched, and like to me, that's probably where story, like a giant, like it's kind of stereotypical anime at this point, and so I don't think I was surprised by that being Aaron at all.
And the
I
hair,
had questions.
you know,
Yeah,
I think it wasn't either, because I knew Aaron was going to be a Titan. I don't know why I knew it, but I just knew it. So that was the perfect moment. So,
yeah. I'm wondering if I knew that also. I don't think I did.
I didn't.
No, I
That's
didn't.
good.
I remember watching. I remember watching it on Netflix and not knowing anything about the show. Just heard about it and it was like, oh yeah, I'll start watching the show. Okay.
I'd say in hindsight, like I said, I do like I had distinct feelings of Aaron's not dead. So then seeing that, you know, in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, I should have put the pieces together. But like, nah, just a blank.
Yeah. And like, and at this point, I didn't know what it was. I just thought there Aaron is in there somewhere. Whether it's he was reborn as a Titan or his mind went into a Titan or something. I had no idea what the calls was, but I had a good feeling like, oh, that is Aaron's effect happening somehow.
Hmm.
But yeah, so then he comes out the Titan. Mikasa cries because before that, Armin told her that Aaron was killed. Um, and she kind of just goes off and keeps battling. She gets reunited with Aaron. Everything kind of works out there until Aaron kind of goes on trial. It's like he kind of goes on trial twice. There's one part where like a commander is like questioning like Aaron, are you? Oh my gosh, the foreshadowing. Like, are you human? Are you humanity? Say, or are you an ally to humanity or not? And then like Armin has to like talk his way into saving Aaron in this situation, which shows how smart Armin is. To at least hold off, and then Pixies comes, and then Pixies kind of handles the situation from there. And then is that when Armin says Shawn? I want to say Pixies has Aaron. Um, yeah, Pixies has Aaron. Plug Pixies is the one bald guy, commander, mustache. He reminds me of Larry Nickel. If you know Shawn, not Larry Nickel,
Yeah,
Larry
yeah,
from Payless.
yeah.
His name is Larry.
What is his
Oh my
name?
gosh,
But we just
Larry.
call him Lair Bear because he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, but for some reason in my head, Pixies always reminds me of Larry.
I can see that.
And so Pixies had Aaron turn into the Titan, and then the giant boulder that got hit. There was um to plug the wall, and that was kind of like humanity's first victory against the Titans. And then after that, he has the trial against like the whole entire army and the judge and stuff, who's weird.
gets kicked by
Um,
Levi.
yeah, yeah. Levi shows up. You get to see Levi. Well, Levi shows up before that, but this is like Levi's real first introduction, and Levi kicks the crap
Yeah.
out of out of Aaron, and like just to prove like that scene is funny to me because everyone in the court knows that Aaron is a Titan to their best of knowledge, and like Levi just goes up to him, kicks him square in the face, his tooth falls out, beats the crap out of him just to prove like, hey, if he is a Titan, I don't care. I will provoke him to a point that if he was a Titan, if he was that uncontrolled, he would have turned into a Titan. And also, even if he turns into a Titan, I can kill him pretty easily. And none of you can handle him except for me because I'm Levi freaking Ackerman.
It is Larry Nickel. You doubted yourself, but it's just because the spelling is different. Nikkel.
Oh.
That's why you. Yeah.
Mhm. Did you go to?
I ran to LinkedIn real quick just to
Yeah.
because it's bugging me. I was like, Larry Nickel sounds right. What's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
But it doesn't. But it's just the spelling throwing us off. Anyway.
No. Um. So that trial happens. The military agrees that Aaron can. It's interesting here because right. So like the real people in charge could they know one thing that the founding titan is missing, right? Um, like they could force themselves to take over ownership of Aaron and eat him or whatever, but like they don't want to play their hand too hard because they don't know if Aaron is the coordinate or the founding titan. And so they let Aaron go to the scouts. And then Aaron officially joins the scouts, which is what he's been wanting to do his whole life. And then we get some. Do we get more training? Where's that coming?
We discovered that Levi goes crazy for cleaning, which is
Oh
really
yeah,
random
yeah.
fun for him.
Learn about his attention to detail.
Mhm. They're like in the
One thing. So
fortress
I've
training.
been watching a lot of like how to write characters stuff. Like I've probably watched hundreds of hours of that stuff, just trying to get more knowledgeable about writing. And like one of the things is like, hey, give your characters certain little quirks that really might not make any sense to, or not might not be necessarily important to other aspects of the character and stuff. And like this is like one of his quirks of like he is a neat freak.
Mm.
Okay. Then, all right. So then, Erwin gives a great speech to try and get people to join the scouts. He gets pretty much everyone to join the scouts except for Amy. Of all the main characters we see, because I'm sorry, I said Amy. I meant Annie. Uh, Probably because Annie's purpose was to try and infiltrate higher
Deeper.
ups in the
Yeah.
military, and so that's why she went over there while Reiner and Bertho just stayed together in the scouts. Well, they probably joined because of Aaron. So yeah, that's why.
Makes
Everything.
sense.
Did they know it
Yeah,
was?
everything.
Yeah, they knew.
And then we get into the female Titan arc.
Hmm.
So the scouts are about to go on their I don't know what number expedition. I forget why they needed to go on the expedition. I mean, they go on
It
expeditions
was.
just to
I
go on
think it was
expeditions.
just a try for Aaron to see how it would work for it, because they wanted him to use him to regain Wilmaria to close it. So that was like a try.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
Oh, we do also meet Hanji, and she 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 meets Aaron. So Aaron meets Hanji. He also meets Levi's crew, which is another group of people that you think might be important. It's like, oh man, these are like Levi's squad. Like they are some of the best Titan killing people. They're very important, and it's like, they're not that important.
That's
Yeah.
probably where it started to wear on me. Is like, look at this elite crew.
Yeah, yeah,
Chris, something very important. We'll learn about Angie and their obsession with Titans, and that they had captured two little Titans, and then in the middle of the
hmm
night, they die. Someone killed them, so that's when they understand that there's a spy
yeah,
in between them, around them, and there, Armin starts to get suspicious of Annie, and then well, we all know Armin discovers Annie, but
yeah. Like
that's
Armin. It's kind of like Armin takes note of things. Like he doesn't. I wouldn't. I don't know. Armin takes notes of things without,
mm-hmm.
but then like he'll someone will come up with the question, and then he'll kind of dig deep and be like, "Oh yeah, because this, and that happened."
In my
But he does
mind,
take notes like everything.
that's what having an eidetic memory is probably like. Like, it's not that he remembers every single thing he's ever seen at like an instant, but it's like a little archive in there of, oh, if I dig hard
Mm.
enough, I can recreate this scene in my head, and oh yeah, there it is.
Like, how did he remember how with Marco's, uh, what do they call it? The
Yeah,
attachment to
the
fly,
the the ODM
ODM
gear.
gear.
Like, oh, there was a scratch on this
No,
ODM gear. Like,
Yeah, that's, to me, that's what,
there,
like,
there's
to me, Armin has like an eidetic memory to a degree, and that's his superpower.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's this video that RDC World does where it's like how smart anime characters be. Like this character walks into a room that's like, I know you're over there. Like this person's like hiding in this corner or something. He's like, how'd you know I was here? He's like, because the air pressure in this room is typically this and this. And when I walked in, I account for the air pressure dropping here, but the air pressure actually didn't drop. So or the air pressure, yeah, the air pressure didn't drop. That must mean there was another person in the room breathing this hard. So then I concluded that you were over here, and a bug flapped its wings this much. Therefore, and it's like,
That's so
Armin's
bad.
not like that, but that's how some anime characters are.
Feels like a good time to say, Chris, I don't think I love Tsukasa as an antagonist. I feel like pulling out an OP antagonist right away in Doctor Stone is like just
Oh,
immediately
okay.
coincidentally pulling out a super knowledgeable and strong. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's not that knowledgeable. The thing about him
He's highly
is
logical.
he's very logical, but like he's very logical. In fact, I feel like, huh?
I
They don't
mean,
really come across that many. I think if they came across, I think if Senku came across a character that wasn't logical, he would win probably a little too easily because he's so freaking logical and so smart. And so it's like I feel like every
it
villain
is.
or every antagonist is pretty logical.
It was just a little. It was like a little. The very first guy's like, "Oh, we're right here, about to get eaten by lions." Thank goodness it was on our way to this guy who's great at everything. Anyway, different discussion,
Yeah.
different day. That's what that made. As soon as you started describing that, it's like, well, the air pressure dropped and the fly's wings. Is like,
Yeah. All right, so we start the female Titan arc. So they go out and they do um they they just go on a scout, and then like out of freaking nowhere, I want to say it's out of nowhere, you just see this huge freaking female body just running, almost like the movie Get Out. If it's like, what the heck is going on here? And then the female Titan just starts freaking wrecking shop on on the scouts like they're just play toys. How'd you guys react to seeing the female Titan for the first time?
so now I would just say that I knew it was a person, but I didn't connect the dots to Annie. Like, I wasn't suspicious of Annie yet, really.
Okay.
But I knew it was a person. Um,
They tried, like, except the training, they really kept Annie on the side. I feel like the training, then it's very cool how they also connect to the way she fought against Eren and the female Titan fighting style. But then, like, she was kind of on the side, like she went inside, didn't wasn't a scout and everything. So you really weren't suspicious of her.
This is one part that I probably felt the most dumb. Like everything about the female Titan, I I wasn't in the head that other people could transform into Titans yet. I was still of like, okay, well, Eren can transform into a Titan. The other ones, they're just they're just special grade Titans. Like, or what did they say? They're how did they
Abnormals?
phrase
The abnormals.
abnormal Titans? Yeah, and so like there was a bunch of abnormal Titans. I won't say a bunch, but there were like plenty of abnormal Titans to where the Colossal Titan and the Armor Titan and the Female Titan didn't seem that abnormal to me, and so I wasn't thinking like, oh, there's people in there, or they're controlled by someone. I was still in the head of these are Titans, and
I'm
so like,
mm,
I feel the same as you, and I want to say it's because it's an anime. So for me, it was, oh yeah, so the character is cooler than the other ones. The main character is cool. She has some cool
yeah,
powers that nobody else.
I just felt like it's
yeah,
too much of a coincidence to like learn about Aaron, and then to have a specifically another unique Titan.
mhm. I did start to question it. Well, no, because I haven't felt so. There's a certain point where like the female Titan is attacking, right, and and they capture her, and then like Levi is threatening her to a certain extent, and like Levi's like, "I'm gonna cut you open, like don't worry," and like in her eyes, she has like eyes of fear in her, and that's when I kind of thought, "Oh, the Titans are smarter." There are certain Titan, this Titan specifically, is smarter and more aware than other Titans. Like probably
Yeah,
more so
she's
than the
so
Blob.
intentional too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when when she's running or moving, is like everything is
Yeah,
practiced and human, for
yeah.
lack of a better term.
So even that being said, I was still dumb enough, and ignorance is that phrase. Ignorance is bliss is absolutely true, and it can be used for many different things.
Yeah,
Um, it does help you enjoy, I think, shows because I was still ignorant. I was like, okay, this is a Titan, but this is a really really smart Titan. Maybe she's like the mom of Titans. Like theories get dumb, especially I was really dumb theories in Attack on Titan.
I mean,
It wasn't even
I
a theory.
typed a lot of really dumb theories too. We've got chat records of my dumb theories.
Um, but it was yeah, her yeah, like you mentioned, John, her actions were like very deliberate. Like there was a scene where uh she walks up to Armin and like pulls his head up and then just lets him go. Also another dumb theory of like, oh, is Armin and her connected? Like like we never meet Armin's mom and they have similar hair. Like why didn't she kill Armin? Like other like
That
dumb theory
see
that I
in
had
my
at that
head, that was just like she picks him up and she puts him back down. It's like game recognized game. Am I right?
point. Oh. Um
It's probably what she said
also to note
inside of her head.
to note that like they all were told put your hood on. That way she doesn't like they think she's like Erwin is smart enough to be like I think they're searching for Aaron. Everyone put their hood on. But then you see like and it's so subtle. Like Berto not Berto, Reiner doesn't wear his hood. He takes it off. Oh, and Reiner almost dies. And at that point, I just thought, man, Reiner is freaking BA. He took on the female Titan. Like, sure, that was weird that he survived, but he's just that cool of a character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this opportunity also to say, just based on another description you had there, of like why I like Armin's character so much, because he has a strength, like he has a very good usage, but it's not. I don't know. It's not OP. It's not exaggerated. Where it's like, yeah, he's just pretty smart, pretty logical, but like he never has all the answers. He just
Yeah.
has
Ideas.
good ideas, good theories, and they usually kind of pan out. But he doesn't. It's not because he knows everything. And so
Yes.
I felt that his character was surprisingly balanced in a way that I do not always feel about other characters similar to him in anime. So
Yeah, no, that's
love
a
Armin.
really good point. Yeah, I've been reading about like how to write smart characters. And um and a lot of times they say like it's not how they talk, it's not the words they use. Like smart people don't really use big big words oftentimes. Like it's that's not indicative of how smart they are. It's their scientific approach and things like they're not certain about things, but they will say
It's like process,
this happened.
not performance or
Yeah,
whatever. I would say
yeah,
even
uh,
so. And I love Mika's character too. She's great, but like hers is, it's not even like hers. Like she's clearly just This is like an OPBA who can kill most things.
She's a killing machine.
Yeah, very literally. Whereas Armin just like, no, he just feels like a genuine, smart, slightly cowardly person.
It's very believable.
Yeah, it's very
Like in
relatable.
the world of outlandish things, his deciphering things is very
Feels right.
believable.
So yeah, thanks Armin. He's amazing.
Man.
So they capture the female Titan, and then she screams out. A bunch of Titans attack, and they eat her body, and that's how she escapes. Which is like that part pissed me off.
That it pissed me off and it threw me for a loop because I thought in my head I kind of had this. I don't know, like this false logic about how like that should have killed her or whatever. So it's just
Yeah.
not what my brain expected.
Yeah.
The reason for them eating her to be.
Yeah. Did you think she was sacrificing herself?
Yeah, or
at
just alongside the destruction of the scouts, that she was like giving herself up, not getting saved.
Yeah. And then I forget when. I mean, Erwin is always trying to like piece things together. Because at some point, when Erwin is like, she's not dead, like she's still amongst us, and right at that point, she transforms back into the female Titan. One thing I want to mention, because by the end of the show, fans, and I think people within the show kind of forgive Annie. like, like I am not of that
pity her
mind.
for like being in that state for so long.
There are certain characters where I'm like, all right, by the end of the show, where like beginning of the show, or once you find out about them, you're like, no, screw you, I want you to die. And by the end of the show, like with Reiner, I'm like, I understand Reiner. I understand you. I'm not mad at you. I understand exactly what you did and how you did it. You didn't seem malicious necessarily and things, but two people, Annie she's just, I don't know why Armin is like attracted to her. She is a stone cold psychopath killer. Like she was twirling scouts like a freaking yo-yo, doing it around the world, punting them.
Weird time to
like,
say I loved that the animation, both the literal animation as in like what was on screen, but then also like the choreography. Also,
it looked great. And then they slow it down to see the guy spinning, and he's just like he's being held on by his torso, and so his arms and his legs are both going the same direction because of probably centrifugal force or something like that. And it's just she was freaking ruthless. It's like
they try in the first season to soften her, like with all the dead stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, I think you grow sympathy, whether you should or not. I think you grow sympathetic to her just because she spends so long like frozen or whatever.
And honestly, nobody wanted to make Armin sad because he was in love.
Yeah. It's like,
some
all right,
garbage ships. That's what it always is. Garbage.
Yeah, that ship itself, I don't agree with it at all. And then the other character that people are like, well, people aren't asking him, but it's like within the show, the Beast Titan tries to be like, oh, well, I was trying to save the world. Like, you were playing baseball with them.
Literal.
You were pretending like you were a baseball player trying to pitch the perfect game and laughing at them and stuff. Like, no, don't try and get on your high horse
out of it in the most literal sense.
Yeah, don't try and get on your high horse talking about, oh, trying to save humanity and stuff. No, you reveled in this.
He even makes commentary, and I forget like what words he chooses, but it's not even just like, oh, well, throwing is just my most valuable weapon or whatever is what I know. It's like, no, he like made commentary about when he's throwing a perfect game or pitching.
Like, oh, he's like, oh, I'm gonna change up the pitch this time.
Yeah,
and then afterwards,
it's like, that's a game, man. That's how I treat bowling in baseball, and it's.
I feel like if he knew his plan all along, that was his little, he has to sacrifice something to save humanity, or is that, you know, he
Okay.
went along with the destroying parody to meet with Eren, and then to fulfill his plan, you know.
He was really
Yeah,
really
He was
invested.
enjoying it. Yeah, he was enjoying
method
it.
acting to a Jared Leto degree.
Yeah. Okay, so the female Titan gets away, and then like after the fact, they're like, "All right, let's go back," and they're freak. Oh, Levi's crew was wiped off. Oh, and Aaron Fault, the female Titan, got freaking mollywop. Like she did a karate chop, like so precise. She like chopped his like from the mouth line to where it revealed Aaron's out the nape, and then she pretty much bit the nape, which Mikasa thought, oh, he died again. So many times Aaron is close to dying and being kidnapped and stuff.
In that scene, for a second, you think Eren is good at fighting, and then he gets shit
Yeah.
on.
But nobody's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest offender of like almost dying is Rhina for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
To a degree that honestly 100% pisses me off. Like 2 or 3 times in there, I'm like, no, that's crap. That's garbage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, and it's good to be pissed off sometimes.
Oh, so you're feeling, you're feeling feelings. You know, it's making you react. That's what it wants. But yeah, there's one time specifically in there where he just transferred his consciousness or bullshit.
Yeah.
That part was was
guy's
crap.
dead.
That
That
was
was
like,
crap.
That
no, he should be.
he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
That's crap, and I hated that, and it pissed me off.
It's just like, how are you supposed to kill? He had his a sword in his mouth. How are you supposed to kill him at that point?
There's a few times, and I know we'll get to it, but there was 2 or 3 times, I think all in the first 2 seasons, where I'm ready just to like break the keyboard over my knee and just quit watching. Chris and Gio, this is bullshit. Why are you making me watch this? And that was one of them.
Fans call Reiner the plot armor titan.
He is the plot armor titan.
Yeah.
But he is a character, so those things aside, those plot conveniences, if you will, aside, Chris, I do agree with you if I find him to be a sympathetic character with all of the context intact.
Yeah, without doubt. You know, I'll never make this because I don't feel like making it, and also it's probably past its time. But you know the black president handshake Key and Peele thing, right? Where like Obama. Have you ever seen this?
I've
Like,
seen a ton of
so
Key and
Obama-
Peele. I feel like I want to say yeah, but it's not registering right now.
So like when Obama was president and he would meet a black person, it's always like, hey, what up, fam? Like he'll like do the bro hug to him, and when you will meet a white person, it's like it's a handshake, right? And it's like, so Key and Peele, that is somewhat true. You can actually find videos of that being true. Like he was meeting somebody, I want to say maybe Team USA, and he did that. Like he shook Steve Kerr's hand instead of giving him the hug, maybe something like that. But Key and Peele did a skit of Obama meeting like white people and black people, and like, and so like if I was to do that for Jaegerists, like they would, like Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin, of course, they get the bro handshake and hug and everything. Annie would get a no to the face. Like it becomes comical in the Key and Peele skit. Like there are like 2 baby. There's like a white baby he sees. There's a black baby. He goes with the black baby. Oh, look at this answer. She's so cute. And then like he picks her up and like rocks her and stuff. It's like, oh, me and Michelle might want another one. And then he gives her back baby. And then he comes to the white baby and just shakes the hand. Here, thank you, little baby. And then walk. And like to me, like that little white baby would be oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Annoying girl in the last season.
Annoying girl in the last season. Gabby?
Marlene. Gabby. Yeah.
The most annoying girl.
It'll be Gabby. Of like if you're a Jaegerist or you're a Aaron not a Jaegerist. If you're specifically an Aaron fan, like Reiner, you will give the handshake, you'll give the bro hug to. But Annie, no, it's just a simple handshake. Berthold, Simple Handshake. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, if I was a Jaegerist and met Gabby, I would spit in her face. Honestly, the
I know you
most
said
annoying.
spit, but it sounded like you said peed. I just want to
No, I
clarify.
said
You said spit.
I said spit. I would
Those
not do
I's
that.
and E's.
I would not do that to a child, Sean.
That's
I would
why
never
I'm.
do that.
That's why I'm clarifying on purpose that
No,
you said spit.
she's so annoying. I think they realized, oh, wait, Heron is not gonna be annoying anymore. We need someone else to be annoying in this anime.
I understood Gabby and her. I don't love the character still, but she was Aaron. Like it was the show.
Mm-hmm.
In her arc, she has a great arc, I think. She's still really, really freaking annoying.
Yeah.
In that time, but she was important to have that arc.
They do a nice job of
Uh,
pitching right out of the gate too. Like, I mean, they don't literally tell you, but you see her and you're like, oh crap, this is Aaron.
they do a great job of showing
The
those similarities.
the
Yeah.
reciprocal, right? The inverse.
Mhm.
Well, but she actually good at fighting or doing stuff, not like Heron.
Except for she's.
Well,
That's
that's
what I
true,
said. The
yeah.
inverse.
Like she is the best shooter. She's the sharpest shooter that you will find. Give her a gun and she will kill somebody. Like that shot against Sasha and then the shot against Aaron, like that's a 1 in 1,000 shot. She did it.
Twice.
Twice, yeah.
Twice, yeah. Oh, Gabby. Gabby's almost fun to laugh at in retrospect, especially in certain scenes where it's like, Gabby, shut up. Like, you do not have social awareness at all. You are about to get
Read the room,
you
kid.
and Falco killed.
When
Like,
she-
yes, read the room.
When she met Sasha's family, oh my god, I wanted to
Yes.
just.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. We'll get there. Eventually.
It's a lot
I'll
of
see y'all on this thing.
4 episodes later.
We're wrapping up the season 1. All right, Erwin has some ideas on who the heck the female Titan is. And a lot of things the show does is that it won't. It reveals things in a kind of way. So like Aaron is talking to after everything with the female Titan, they go back, tails between their legs, pretty much. Aaron goes and talks to Annie. And I was just like, okay, Aaron's talking to Annie. I don't understand the significance of this, but he's talking to her. And then eventually they reveal it there that she's the female Titan. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's definitely the female Titan. Cause she like does this little laugh and stuff, and then like everybody jumps in and catches her. Like Aaron's trying to get her to go to this underground and stuff. And then like you think, oh, they got her captured. She can't like bite herself. She has a freaking ring that can stab herself
Yeah,
to
that's
turn
kinda
into
cool.
the Titan. And then her and Aaron have an all-out brawl within the interior wall, and it just pretty much ends with Aaron beating her, which he didn't before. And then something weird was happening, and I blame one of the lines of dialogue because there's a scene where Aaron is like on top of her. Oh, there's a really cool scene where she's like climbing the wall, and then like she's trying to escape, and then Mikasa like chops her fingers off, and like Mikasa's like foot is like on her forehead, and she's like fall. And, like I like Mikasa is so freaking cool. And then Aaron, it's like he gets on top of her as a Titan, and then something weird starts happening. And one of the dialogue is, "Are they merging?" The dialogue is weird to me. I don't know why they added that dialogue because I was confused by it. 'Cause I was like, "Oh, what's happening between the two? Like, are they fusing or something?" But anyway, that part was confusing to me. But Annie was just turning into crystallizing herself so that she couldn't be taken or eaten.
Is it that fight when you discover that inside the walls there's giants, or is it another fight?
Yeah. So at the end of
Yes.
season 1, right where Annie was climbing the wall, she made a hole in the wall. And it ends with them zooming in on the wall, and there's a face of a colossal titan in the wall. And you're like, what the heck does that mean? And I had no idea what the heck that meant at all.
No, that
I
was
was just like, I have no guesses, no hypothesis. I'm just confused.
So I didn't have good guesses or hypotheses, but I did like
I
it
thought,
as an explanation of like, well, yeah, nobody went and hand built all these walls, from the ground.
that's the thing.
hmm
It's like
I dug
I
it as
was
an
questioning.
explanation.
I was questioning, like, okay, if Titans are outside, they built the walls to protect themselves. How did they build the walls to protect themselves from Titans while Titans were attacking
yeah.
them? And these are
Yeah.
huge walls. Like
So
that.
I had
Yeah.
I had no useful theory at that time, or at least nothing that turned out anything close to true. But I did like it as like an explanation. It was like, oh, okay, I just saw that person crystallize herself. These just crystallized himself and laid the foundation for a wall. Slap a little mortar on them, and voila.
Yeah. Imagine, like, I'm assuming when they crystallize, yeah, you still had to put bricks around them. Like, how
Yeah, but
hard
then
was
at
that?
least you already had the wall for like safety. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, you still, yeah. The real bones of the wall is the Titans. The bricks and stuff is pretty much just like it doesn't like it's just I don't know. It's whatever. That's why when Reiner, that's why when Berto kicked the wall, he couldn't break. He didn't break the wall. He broke the gate to the wall because the
Yeah.
gate itself isn't colossal titan.
Was between the legs of the colossal titan.
Yeah. All right. So that's season one. I'm pretty sure we can wrap season two. In this part. Anything about season one that after you watch season one, Shawn, you got any thoughts on it or anything?
I thought it did a great job of doing like exactly what it set out to do, which is to like lay this mystery open in front of you, and like get you really hooked into the idea of needing to know what happened next. So definitely achieved its goals. No, not that I didn't have things about it that like I said didn't like completely piss me off. But in general, it had me hooked into the idea of like, no, I really like I have so many questions that are engaging, and I need to see the what's and the whys.
Hmm.
I think
Anything
season one.
from you,
Yeah, I think
Jim?
in hindsight, I think season one might be my favorite. I think it
Mm.
just
That's
did
interesting.
did what I
Huh.
wanted it to do, or did what I needed it to
Man,
do.
what season? I mean, that's a we can get to that when we talk through everything. But season one, yeah, season one is really great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Jay, thoughts?
I think I'd put 4, 1, 2, and 3 at last. 3, I remember very little of it. It's so confusing to me.
And the first half
And I
of
watched it
three
twice.
the first half of three is a drag.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you have any other thoughts on season one before we go to two?
no other one than I feel the preacher of the wall is a very stupid character.
Oh yeah.
Just,
I'm glad not a whole lot comes out of that.
he knows everything.
Yeah, the whole religion thing behind praising the walls to me, I mean, maybe it was used just to show how like religion is sounds sounds sacrilegious to say, literally sacrilegious. Like the religious is dumb, but certain aspects of religion is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
but
was
to me that
yes, I'm mildly okay with the idea. It's like, oh, there's a living creature in there, and then this guy's like, God put the living creatures there. I guess I don't know.
yeah that whole praising and worshiping the walls things honestly never went anywhere for me. And if
Well,
you
I didn't
took
take
that
it.
out,
Yeah,
it would nothing would change.
it didn't do
Mhm.
much in the show or for me.
Yeah. All right, on to season two. I would say when I started season two, like season two is only 12 episodes. Um, and it's not that I was bored the first like 5 episodes.
I
I was just
was.
like,
I'll say it.
I was just, I was, I was just like, we're not. we're not with Aaron, Mikasa, or Armin right now. Like we're with the B team. Why are we with the B team?
It didn't, and
With the
it
B team.
didn't pursue. And I know it's doing this on purpose, but it's a storytelling thing that I don't like. Is that it like very intentionally didn't pursue the parts of the show that I was interested in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just like I get it, but I don't have to like it, and I'm not going to.
I don't even remember what's
Yeah,
the
I
start
think
of season 2. What
so.
happened?
Essentially, that's about the Beast Titan. They follow. So the Beast Titan gets introduced,
Oh.
and really, you're following the story of the group of Berto, Reiner, Connie. Wait, is Connie in it? No, I don't think Connie's in that group.
Oh, Sasha and Miri story, like when they are in the tower.
Yeah, Ymir,
Or that's
Historia. Yeah, when they're in the tower, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part of that plot is like other scout. There's a hole in the wall somewhere, and like they're trying to figure out, all right, where did the Titans come in? Because there's a hole in the wall. So like there's two groups that go around the wall. They're looking for the hole. So that's part of the plot. And then there are the scouts, the new scouts, who are being um, held. I wouldn't say held, but they're being kept in the castles and stuff. And like, and they, in retrospect, Erwin was probably suspicious of them, which is why he held them there.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so at the same time, oh, because all of them, all those characters had some sketchy stuff about their background, right? So there's Bertolt and Reiner, like, oh, they came from an area who's like Bertolt, Reiner, and Annie all came from an area where like, oh, their papers and stuff didn't look legit. Krista, that's not her real name, and then Ymir, like, she's just has weird stuff about her stuff. So that's why they kind of kept them separate.
It reminded me of in Ratatouille when they're all going over the pasts. The cooks in the restaurant are each going over their pasts, and they all have like a weird, shady, random detail.
Uh, I gotta watch Ratatouille again, actually.
Decent flick. Decent flick.
Oh yeah, oh it definitely is.
Only downside it's in France, but what can you do about it?
Also, other parts of the story is like Connie finds Titans in his village, so that's separate. So Connie's part of the team that is like searching. Connie and Sasha are like with other parts of the team who are searching for a hole in the wall. Connie comes to his village and he's like, "This is weird. Like my village, like there's no blood or anything anywhere. Buildings are destroyed, houses are destroyed, but it doesn't seem like there was attack anywhere. It looks like the people got out. Like we got to go find the people, but the horses are still here. I don't know what's happening." And it builds a pretty good mystery of like, all right, but what's it wasn't. It builds an interesting mystery of like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Something's going on with that, but it still hasn't reached like a level of importance for me yet as a viewer. Um, but it's still like built. It did a good job of building some type of like, what the heck is going on? Like
Mm.
they're making you ask questions.
Is that when also you see the when Sasha goes to her village?
Hmm.
That was traumatizing. Just see a Titan snacking on a
Oh
person. That was,
yeah,
phew, didn't
and
expect that.
then yeah, and then Sasha saves the little girl who later thinks of Sasha as a big sister, who later is part of the family, part of Sasha's family,
That's really cute.
who wanted to kill Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn, you remember that? You remember that blonde haired girl who was like, she killed big sister Sasha,
Not
and that girl
particularly.
wanted to kill. So there was a blonde haired girl who was friends who she was the first girl to meet Gabby and Falco, who and she brought them in into like Sasha's family like adopts kids pretty much. So this little blonde haired girl was the girl that Sasha saved, and like when Sasha's like just
Oh
has a
yeah.
bow
Okay.
and
Okay.
arrow.
You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sasha saved that little girl. Like that little girl idolized Sasha
Mm-hmm.
because Sasha saved her. Like when Sasha came in, that little girl's mom, like there was a Titan that was like 6 foot tall who got into the house, who was
Just
just
like
eating
gnawing
her
on
mom.
her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
so
a
to be
lot.
honest, that's the part I remember more than the rest. But yeah, I remember Sasha saving the girl
Yeah.
specifically, and she runs up the road.
Hmm.
Like there's something very
So that
vivid in
little,
that scene about like the road specifically, and a little,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's kind of a heightened bank on each side or on one side.
yeah. So then that little girl got adopted essentially by, I won't say adopted, but Sasha's parents essentially run an orphanage. Um, and so that little girl thinks of Sasha as her big sister. And then that girl brings in Gabby and Falco into their family. And then at that dinner, that little girl finds out that Gabby killed Sasha. So even when like Sasha's dad forgives Gabby, that little girl's still like, no, I'm gonna kill her. Like she killed my big sister Sasha. Um, and then by the end of the show, Gabby saves that little girl from a Titan, and that little girl like sees a vision of Sasha and Gabby. Oh my gosh, great storytelling.
I love the scene at the table where Niccolo wants to kill Gabby when he found out that she killed
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh
gives the knife
man.
to the family, and just the family just
Yeah.
decides not
He's
to.
like, yeah. He's
So,
like, Sasha
and
loved my
that's
cousin.
when Gabby breaks. Like here, like they're not devils. Oh my god, it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and then she says like that's what Reiner meant. Like, there's no devils here.
Hmm.
It was just people. Oh my gosh, great writing. Um. So anyway, so yeah, so this part of the story, admittedly, especially the first time watching, I was, and even honestly, there are parts of it that I love, and the other parts I'm just like, let's get to the meat of it. So that team of Reiner, Bertolt, Reiner, Bertolt, Ymir, Krista. Yes. They are being surrounded by Titans. They're about to be killed by Titans. And Ymir is like, hey, give me that knife, whoever. Oh, she's talking to, wait, she's talking to Connie? Is Connie there? That's
Probably, I
weird.
think so.
But I think she
No,
took
but
but I think she took the knife from Connie. Because she was like, hey, give that to me.
maybe they
And
want
he's
to
like, what are
just
you going to do
surrender
with that,
Connie.
ugly? He does, Connie is there. Because Connie calls her ugly all the time. And then he calls her Titan really ugly. But now I want to watch it just to Historia. Uh, has to be the 1 second because now I'm curious if Connie was there. I mean, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it's not a big point if Connie's there or not. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, they go there. She. Oh my gosh, it's actually a great scene. Connie is there, yes. Um. Oh man, it's such a good scene because um they're all about to die, and then Ymir takes the sword, the knife, or the knife from Connie. It's like, all right, I'm about to go do something. Then she transforms into a Titan. Then you see Reiner's and Bertholt's reaction to her, and like, when you're watching for the first time, you just like, oh, they're just like in amazement that she's a Titan, that she's also Titan, and then really it's like they're in amazement because she is the Jaw Titan specifically. She's the one that killed their friend, or not their friend. Reiner didn't like the guy. Um, um, oh wait, did Reiner not like him? No,
No,
Reiner doesn't
it
like his
was the other
brother.
one.
It was
He
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
brother
Okay,
of
yeah, he
that
was their
guy.
friend. Yeah, yeah. My bad. Reiner liked him
Porco?
just
Sorry.
fine. Yeah, I think it was. Oh, I confused their names
No, yeah,
because there's
no.
Porco and then Grill Art or whatever. Yeah, I think it's Porco. Porco, yeah. Um. Oh, and also in the scene, a little. So when they're getting attacked and the wall's coming down, you can see Berto doing this, like, he's about to bite down on his wrist, right until because he's like, oh, I can just transform into a Titan.
Mhm.
Such a freak. Like when my daughter watched this, I was like, hey. Well, after she watched the episode coming up where they reveal, I said, go back and watch this episode. Look, Berto's about to transform into a Titan, but he doesn't because he's saved by them.
There were so many
Anyway,
signs, even like with the tuna, whatever it was, like the Ymir could read the
Yes,
ancient
yes,
thing, and
yes.
Rainer was like,
That was
"What?"
freaking weird to me. I had no idea what the heck was happening. Like, yeah, so they're looking for food, and Reiner is like, huh? Oh no. Um, Ymir has this tuna, and she reads it, and then Reiner's like, "How did you read this? Like, how could you read this?" And like, her the scene in that moment, it does this weird like it zooms in on her. It doesn't zoom in on her, but focuses on her, and she has this dead look in her eye, and like her hair just moves a certain way. They're like, why is she being weird? Why is she being
Mm-hmm.
creepy? And me as a viewer and mom, I don't know what the heck that means that she can read. Like, like I don't know the significance of it being
I
in a
assumed it
different.
was different language.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
yeah, it was
think
a
this
different.
through, but just like, hey, yeah, she shouldn't have ever seen this language before.
like, what? Why does that
There's a lot.
matter? That's weird.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that at the point of watching it, I'm like, this is weird. I don't know why it's weird. I don't know the connections, which is great storytelling. Like you're showing me like the great stuff about a magic trick, and some of the best reveals and stuff are a magic trick, essentially. Not I think of that all the way from the movie The Prestige. While like a magician shows you everything, right? Like you can, if you pay enough attention, you got the dots, you can usually figure out whether it's hand misdirection or something. You can figure out how magic tricks are done. Magician is actually showing you everything, especially like a filmmaker. Think of a filmmaker as a magician or a anime artist or whatever. But like the illusion is there. Like you can't piece it together, and then they show you what it really is, what you've been looking at the whole time. Uh, yeah. So yeah, that was a great scene. Oh, and then Reiner almost dies again when he like before Ymir turns to he like takes on a Titan, and a Titan um bites his arm. He wraps it up. um yeah. So then Ymir saves them, but they're still kind of in trouble. Then the scouts come. Aaron gets his first Titan kill as an actual member of the Survey Corps. Oh, gruesome deaths. Those one people who were protecting the group, they all
Mm-hmm.
died horrible deaths. Like especially that one lady who was like got triggered into she had PTSD. Like she must have been abused or something. She was like, no, be a good girl. And it's like, holy crap, what the heck is going? This show's freaking dark. Like, you didn't need to add that character aspect to her. She could have just died um, screaming and stuff. She didn't have to have PTSD about something. But yeah, that was all just freaking gruesome.
And
So then, oh, go ahead.
in that thing, it thickens like this the relationship between Historia and Ymir, because I think she says, "I'll tell you my secret, my real name."
Oh,
I
yeah.
hated that part. I did not understand it. I think it
I
wasn't
didn't
really
either. I was like,
necessary.
I was like, I was like, I don't care about this. There's so many things that I didn't care about the first watch that even on second watches, like I get that it's important and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but even on second watch, I'm just like, well, I know it now. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't take it out. I wouldn't take these things out, but in the moment, I wasn't like, oh, what is Krista's real name? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't give a crap about Krista's real name at all.
I like Ymir as the character that was a random Titan and killed one of the soldiers of the
Yeah,
group. But then the part with Historia, I don't know, just made me more confused, to be honest.
yeah.
And poor Ymir,
Uh,
she just they just give her a random death, like in the fourth season. Oh yeah, she died. Who cares? Somebody got her power.
yeah, that her. Yeah, we'll get. Well, we won't get to it now. We'll get. Oh, wait, will we get to it now? I don't know. No, that's season three. Yeah, that's season three. Wait, season three? When does Dark
I think it almost has to be season 3.
All right. No, we can run through it. We'll finish off season 2. Yes. Okay. Um. Yeah, she just gives. To me, that was dumb that she went with. We'll get to it. All right, so they come in, they save that group, and they're kind of just recapping like what was going on. Like, hey, we didn't find a hole in the wall. Like, what's going on? Hines comes up, and Hines is like, we didn't find a hole, and Aaron is like, are you drunk or something? Like, there has to be a hole. He's like, shut up, you little crap. There's no hole in the wall. And then things are like they're just recapping things. This part of the story just feels like, hey, we're just catching our breath here. Like, Ymir is knocked out. All of this stuff has happened. So much stuff. Like, Ymir is a Titan. Aaron is not the only one that's a Titan. And then this is one of the best episodes I think of anything. Warrior episode. Just they're just talking, and it gets to the point where Reiner is just like, "Hey, Aaron, can we talk to you?" And I'm just like, "All right." Reiner's gonna talk to Aaron. Hanji and her second in command, they're the focal point of this of the camera in the dialogue. You hear mostly their dialogue, like their dialogue is turned up higher, right? And then they're talking about just like, "Oh yeah, where the Titans could be," and then lower in the dialogue, lower volume, all you hear is I'm the armor titan. He's a colossal titan. But no one makes it a big deal. They just keep going on about it, and you're like, wait, what? What did I just hear? Like, I must have heard. Like, it's so low that you as a viewer just like, I didn't catch that. What was that?
I definitely didn't.
And,
I was watching it like, I don't know, it was in that moment because I love that scene. It's just so random. It was
like
didn't care.
every time I watch a reaction
should have had
video,
subtitles.
Yeah, sure has it.
yeah, every time I watch a
Japanese.
reaction video to that episode, everyone has the same response. It's like, wait, what the heck? Wait, what did he just say? Like, no one knows 100% sure of like, oh, he just said that he's the colossal. Like, and I've never seen a twist done like this before. And then Reiner's talking to Aaron casually, like, hey, I'm the colossal titan. I'm sorry, I'm the armor titan. He's colossal titan. Like, hey, you want to save humanity? Just come with us. And Aaron is like, huh.
Are you pulling my leg?
He's thinking about it. And as the viewer, I'm like, why is Aaron not pissed off right now? Like, why is he not raging against them when they just said they were the colossal and armored titan, the people responsible for killing his mom? And then they flash back to the scene to them going over the whole plan of like piecing things together, like Erwin and Hanji and pretty much Armin piece together that Berto is probably a Titan, and so is Reiner. Because there's scenes where they're like, all right, Berto and Reiner both came from the same spot that Annie came from during the attack. Also, something about something else can be accounted for, and then the ODM gear, and then even in Armin, it's like, oh yeah, but then Armin's like, oh, they asked like, oh, did Reiner and Berto like ask anything specific about Aaron or anything? And Armin's like, well, actually, I didn't mention Aaron's positioning until Reiner asked me about it. And also, Reiner told us that we should like Reiner took off his hood. But wait, Reiner got captured by the female Titan. But then he got loose. He almost died. But right when he left, she was looking at her palm and she made a beeline for somewhere else. And like they pieced it all together, like, okay, well, this is confirmed. Like they are like all this information we have confirms that they are probably the Titan, the two Titans. It's interesting if you go and watch that scene back where where Reiner gets captured by the female Titan and gets squished, and he's running away. You can see him regenerating, like the steam is coming off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like there's so many little things in there,
So
and
this is.
then
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I think you
Nope,
finish
go.
first, then I'll jump.
I was probably going on a longer tangent. Just keep, you go.
This is one of those things where on the Chris and Shawn scale of nitpick to umbrage, I call it a qualm, and it's I don't like out of order storytelling. That's just I mean the only reason for doing it is to keep the watcher in a little suspense. But like when I feel as though Aaron and Armin and Mikasa are like the protagonists of the story, and we're not watching it from their viewpoint, but they are the focal point. I always feel like it's unfair to just not show us something that they do and then show us that later and have it be like a pivotal sort of plot point like that. That's one of those things that to me that it's cheap. I don't like it. And they do it a lot in the rest of this. Not so much in season 1, but like this season onward, season 3 and 4 in particular, they do it a lot, and it pisses me off.
I have a strong disagree. Like to me, and this is probably one of the things that goes to your spoiling doesn't ruin stuff. Like watching a second time, sure you can put it in chronological order. It wouldn't make the twist any different. Like I don't want any setup for the twist. Have they showed that conversation between Mikasa, Aaron, and Armin, and Hanji, and Erwin? Like then you know, like oh, they're the attacking colossal titan.
That would have
Like that would
been
ruin.
that's just as interesting to me is to see those people use that logic to find it, and then later to have Reiner and Bertolt, say that to him and him like not give that big reaction. That to me is just as
I
interesting,
can.
and it's way less cheap because you're not just withholding information from me that I feel like I should have.
Gio, where do you land on this?
No, I gotta say I like that Berthold and Rainer uh, told Aaron out of the blue. Just because, oh come on, it's so fine. This scene, is so fine.
But
Just-
why does the author just get to be like, no, I feel
Man,
like
art-
making this a twist, so I'm not going to show them this information, even though the protagonists have this information. That's
Well, because
lazy.
it's a twist no matter what.
It is,
But
and
if
it would have
it's
been a great twist to be revealed by Armin
but
logic.
but also,
but
like
if it's
Aaron
but
didn't
if
want to
it's
believe that Rainer and Berthold.
Yeah, that could have been fine. It could have been like, no, it's not true, and then they tell him later, and he's like, okay, like it still would have been great.
but it wouldn't have been Sean. This is one of the most iconic
But
twists in
that's why
anime,
it's
and it's
that's why
because
it's not. It's only a twist because the author didn't give us information that chronologically by the protagonist we should have had. That doesn't make it a big twist. That just means the author is just like, I'm not going to tell them that, even though they know these characters know that we've been paying attention to. That's
it is. I would change absolutely nothing. Like it is that the moment the one of the things that makes the moment so iconic is the nonchalantness of it, and that goes away if you already know what happens. Like I said, anytime I come across like if YouTube just has like a random YouTube channel that's like react to Attack on Titan season 2 whatever episode Warrior, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch how they react to that specific moment because it's a top 5 probably greatest anime moments
not for
of all
me, man.
time. And well, you don't watch anime like
I just it's just I feel like I want a consistent point of view in my story, and my consistent point of view is these 3 characters, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I forgot to show you this part that's literally the most important part of the show to this point. It's like, oh, I just didn't show you that because I didn't feel like, because I wanted to have this cool moment later. Would have been just as cool and just as fun.
No, I don't think it
let me
would
try
have
and
been.
imagine.
I
Oh, go
don't
ahead,
think it
Jill.
would have been that like
It's just not as cool as you
exciting.
guys say it is, because it's only cool because we had information kept from us.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like when you knew they were suspicious of them, then every part after that you were like, oh, it's gonna happen
Yeah,
now.
but I would have got a good story in order, not
I
just
think like
screwing with me for
sometimes
fun. I feel like I'm being mistreated as an audience of like, all right, what else are you just holding from me? And I just, well, now I just can't get to have any theories or expect anything at all because, like, you could be withholding everything from me just because you felt like having a big twist somewhere that you're just not telling me important Armin or Aaron. Like, it makes me distrust the omniscient narrator.
So you prefer the revelation of Annie being a Titan than Bertolt and Reiner? Because that's what happened with Annie. Like they discovered, they explained it, and then they made it set up the
Well,
trap.
no, it's still very interesting, and then I like that most of that was kind of Armin's suspicions, but not confirmed. And it was still great.
But that's not as shocking.
I don't care. It's better storytelling because it's narrative and chronological. You don't want to
I
trust
would
your
say
narrator.
better story.
Yeah, it is. It is
I
better
think
storytelling, and I'll argue that to death.
ah,
It is because
I
it's
think
storytelling
when
that makes sense and a narrator that's making sense and he's being consistent.
I do like how adamant you are.
Because I am
I've never heard
I'm
you.
adamant because it's so frustrating to me that the narrator is just changing the rules just for shock value. Shock value isn't good storytelling. It's not. That's not. It's just this
I
part
think
that people like.
I think
How?
shock value. I think there are elements to storytelling, right? Um, and engaging your audience in it. So like if they, I've watched, you can watch any shows or stuff, and like once they tell you the truth, once they're like, oh, there's an 80% chance of this being true, you're like, okay, I got in my head that this thing that you're telling me is true. I now think of it as true, and once you show me that, oh, 100% true, I'm not shocked by it
And I
at
don't
all.
care.
Like,
If it's a good story, it's good even if it's told in order. And it would have been good if it's told in order.
But that's like the storytelling of Attack is not consistent.
I know, and
There's a lot of back and
this is where we're
forth,
going to
and
diverge.
it's
and
confusing.
This is where we're going to diverge clearly across the rest of the because it is like that. Is that I no longer trust the narrator, and then it makes it feel valueless to like try to watch or hypothesize anything because he could just be withholding, and he does at several points. The most important points that would have developed my mindset along the way is like I have no. Why do I even care when he's just like picking and choosing bits and pieces to tell me at various points? Why do I try to
I mean,
follow
he's not
at all?
withholding. I mean, he's not
No, yes,
withholding
he is. He
that
literally
oh, no,
withheld
well, no,
information.
he's he's withholding that conversation they had, but all those pieces you already could have had. Like you could have had that. Like, oh, how did like all the things they mentioned in that conversation are information that you already had. Granted, you didn't miss them piecing it all together.
Yeah, he didn't reveal that
And granted,
part
this might be two
until
different
later,
things
and
you're
that's
talking
no, that's no. I like I said, I no longer trust the narrator, and now I just like, well, he could just apparently hold back chronologically important pieces of
about. Also,
information at his own will.
and also you as the um as the viewer and also watching them, they're meant to withhold that information as well. Like they can't tell. Like that's kind of in a way it's kind of part of it. And I don't know if this is necessarily applicable to other things, other withheld information later in the season, later in the show. But like the characters themselves can't let on that hey we think they might be this. So you as the viewer can also go on with that. It does create to keep going in the scene. Um, it does create tension in the scene of like, which made this tension in the scene would have happened if you knew their mindset, no matter what. The real tension in the scene starts to come from if like, all right, how are we going to get them? I guess, captured.
And that still would have
Because I
been
guess
present.
that part would have been probably the same. Um, but what was I playing? I think I'll just continue going on.
Other thing,
Uh,
what can I say? One last thing.
Go ahead.
That I also want to disagree with you. He was withholding an information of them discovering it, that they were of let's say having a theory that they were the two giants, the two titans, but you had all the pieces, okay? So I don't think it's
If you
true.
had all the pieces and that was important, then nobody would be shocked because everybody would have put those pieces together. But everybody's shocked in the reaction videos because nobody put all those pieces together. Don't you dare put that expectations on me. Neither one of you.
But
I
that's
don't
makes
think
sense.
he had those
Either.
expectations on you to discover it. That's why it's very shocking. But like
Okay.
you could,
That's why it's like-
you know.
That's why it's like, oh, holy crap! Like if I was really, really, really smart, I could have conduced with like 80%. I could came to the same conclusion that the characters did in that meeting. They flash backed.
And I would have had a delightful time having that meeting in order. I still would have been shocked. Aaron still could have been like, no, there's no way. And then his nonchalantness still
I'm
would have
trying to
been
imagine
amusing.
in my head of that happening, right? Of like, all right, so like you have the episode, like the first two episodes, and then you go catch up with Mikasa and oh my gosh, blanking on it. Mikasa, Aaron, and Armin. And then they're meeting. Then they talk through it. Then now at that point, you're like, all right, we're pretty sure that Bertolt and Reiner are the Titans. And then they go and oh, there just wouldn't be any. It wouldn't feel like to gradually. If I gradually learned in Sixth Sense that he is dead the whole time. Well, Gio, have you seen the Sixth Sense?
What?
Have you seen the Sixth Sense?
But the Sixth Sense, that's different because what you learn about that person doesn't feel like the protagonist information.
I'm not
being
saying there's
withheld
any.
from you.
I'm not saying there's. The Sixth Sense isn't hiding it. Like the narrator isn't hiding anything in the Sixth Sense.
He's not
like
pulling
what,
anything out of order just to
But if I had-
screw with you.
But with any twist in a thing, if I gradually learn the twist and then they reveal, it's not. It doesn't feel like a twist. Like you kind of have walked me through the whole thing and
I
have
think
like
the way that they
built
cleverly,
upon.
the way that he cleverly put those details in there, that if you're paying attention, you could have found it. They could have redone their discussion scene a little bit differently to make it pop. And maybe it doesn't have quite the same pop you guys are talking about, but the only reason it has that pop is because I'm following these protagonists, and oh, all of a sudden here's this other thing that these protagonists did, and I just decided not to tell you.
But that kind of puts you, like, makes you one of the characters in the, like, you can really see how they are, and they're trying to figure out who are Titans, and you could do the same. So you could be one of the characters in the show, which I think it's really cool.
Also-
And it shows you how much smarter than anyone else the Erwin and Armin are, that were able to put those pieces together.
And it would have done the
you
same
weren't.
if it had been in order.
No,
Yeah,
Also, if I knew, if I knew that, say in episode 3 of season 2, at that point, if I was like 80% sure that Berto and Reiner were the Titans, while they're like in perilous danger, I'm now no longer caring about their perilous danger, and like that kind of it just changes those scenes way more. I'm just like, well, just transform and
I
stuff.
hope
Like, I'm 80% sure that.
I hope with all my heart I've gone on record before saying that I don't like nonlinear storytelling. I'd like to say that I have for sure in the Yang Chen
We talked about
novels.
Yes, that's
in
the,
particular.
that's the one. Yeah, I completely agree with because we were both frustrated by that because I felt like it made.
This is
forget.
not as this isn't as egregious as that, and I maintain it's qualm territory. But I just want to feel like I'm being fair, and that I always think that nonlinear storytelling is a crutch for dramatic effect that I don't need and I don't like, and it doesn't add anything.
I don't disagree that it's a. I don't disagree that's a crutch. It's a tool, definitely. That some utilize better than
Crutch is a
others.
tool, I suppose.
I think it's a tool that's used effectively oftentimes, especially here. Like I said, I can't imagine that scene that just the it is utter. It will still be a good story no matter that. But
It would have
part of
still
the
been a great
viewing,
story if I knew things in
but
order.
part of the viewing experience
You telling me that if he
is shock.
rearranged it and then emphasized things, I'm not saying he literally takes this part A and plops it in there. I'm saying if he takes this part A and plops it over where it belongs, and then you make some adjustments and some tweaks in between to keep the viewers
They would
wondering. To keep the viewers wondering,
they
is
would.
this true? How is this
But
wrong?
Sean,
How's this right?
I had no idea. I
But
personally,
I deserve to have an
as the
idea
viewer of the
because
show,
my protagonists had
had
an idea.
I
I
should have
deserve
I
that.
should have had I should have had an idea by paying attention to the clues,
But nobody
but
did. You just
watching
said
it.
you've admitted it yourself that nobody does.
And
Yeah,
I think
but
like
but that's the cool part.
nobody need to pay attention to the clues because I think it's one of the saddest thing about the anime is that it's an anime. So many people don't take it seriously. Like I can count on my
Yeah,
fingers.
I'm not watching.
I cannot count on
Well,
my fingers how many people say I'm not gonna watch this thing because it's an anime. It's for kids. This is definitely not. So people don't take it as seriously as something else could be. That's
and also it's not an M Night Shyamalan movie. I'm not expecting a big twist at this point. I'm not expecting twist to be a thing that's consistent in the show. Like you got me with the Annie twist, which wasn't that big of a twist. I was like, oh, okay, Annie's attack Titan, but like we've been with Berto and Armin. I'm sorry, Berto and Reiner more. Like and it's like, oh, holy crap! Like everything was laid out for me. I didn't see it. That's such a great twist. Like they told me everything. I still didn't see it. But like I said before, if they gradually revealed, it just wouldn't be like no twists are gradually.
Maybe I don't need twists, man. I don't need that in a good
You're not a
story.
twist person, Sean.
Well, I'm not a twist person when it feels like they had to cheat to make it sound good. Chris, I
What
have to
twist
say,
do you like?
I love The Sixth Sense because I felt like the protagonist never withheld information from me. I felt like I got to follow the
Who's
protagonist's journey in The Sixth Sense. And
who's the
then
protagonist at this point? Is it well, neither one knows until
I don't feel like
Who was
anything was withheld from me for that dramatic effect. I felt like I got to follow a story in chronological order, and that's a great example. I don't love the movie maybe as much as
okay,
most people. It's a great
so
movie.
it's not
It's a great
it's not the
example.
twist. Okay, I'm sorry. You're fine with you're great with the twist. It's just you don't like that it's
That what makes it good
that
or
they went.
cool is just that I didn't have information. I felt like I deserved because this whole time
Would
I'm
would
following
you
the
have
stories.
liked if they just did away with it, and if they did away with that flashback, well,
I'll give you here.
and then
Let me give you this much is that I would say that in my mind at this time, in my mind, Aaron is still the protagonist. So if you remove
yeah,
him,
absolutely.
if you
Yeah,
remove him from those conversations, and then somehow or other, but then he doesn't get to have the reaction, so that's not as good. But I'm trying to think of like what would have made it okay for like Armin to have had this discovery, but still merit this kind of funny nonchalant reaction. But the answer is that it was a great twist and great detail and all that, regardless. And I would have been just as happy to have it in order. I feel like
okay.
I feel like I want to trust my narrator. That's all.
Well,
You know what? I keep saying that. I feel like I want to hear a story in order. A good story in order is a good story.
well, yeah, we agree on that, and I want to agree with Chris. So it's for me, it's one of the best moments in anime. The
Ah, man.
random.
Yeah.
I don't even like
It's
it when
like-
movies do that thing where they show the end of the movie at the beginning.
But
I
that's
don't even like the Deadpool
I-
or whatever.
Sean, I
That stuff
started.
pisses me off.
I downloaded this movie to watch on the plane, and it was some movie on Apple, and it started right, and for some reason, it was like the end of the movie. I could tell it was the end of the movie. I was like, oh, they're doing that thing with the end of the movie at the beginning, and then it was like credits. And I was like, wait, what? I accidentally I accidentally started the movie, and for somehow I fast forward like, and the cuts were seamless. I cut to the
Just
end
made
of the movie,
sense.
and I was like, wait, directed by why am I seeing like these are
That's a
his credits?
ballsy place to put the credits. Good job on
Yeah.
the director's like.
And I just didn't finish the movie. I
Chris-
just didn't watch the movie. I was like, screw this movie.
I keep seeing this email on my other screen here, and I have to tell you because I've thought about it like 30 times since we started talking. I keep forgetting to tell you. I have my annual physical next Friday with my doctor, whose name is Dr. Stone, Dr. Michael Stone. Sorry, unrelated. Anyway, I'm glad it brings you guys joy. To me, it doesn't. It's not that it demeans anything. I still see the good story under there, and it is a storytelling method that I will never approve of.
And then, okay, so now that we'll let Shawn be wrong about stuff. See, I don't say agree to disagree. I just say people are wrong. That's rude.
You can be wrong about what you think other people are wrong about, man.
Yeah. I love it though. I love how adamant, how passionate you are. We spent the whole 30 minutes talking about.
I think it's a little sad that this is where we're going to diverge on anime, especially like even when I say season 1 is my favorite season, and there's like a distinct common denominator in there, as opposed to like which seasons you guys are going to prefer and why. Like this is the point where we are going to strongly diverge in opinions about the show.
All right. Okay. So in that moment where Aaron is thinking about it, right after they do the flashback, and you are like, "Oh, that's legit of what he just said, that he was the armor titan." Crap, forgot where I was going with this. So Aaron's thinking about it, and Mikasa's kind of just like looking back, and like the tension is building, the wind is blowing, and this flag like breaks off, so it makes a big loud noise, which makes everyone alert. Like Mikasa's like grabbing her stuff, grabbing her blades, and Reiner's like Reiner could sense that they were about to attack him. Reiner's like, oh man, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I can't believe I let this go long enough. Like, damn if I know what's right or not. Anyway, he's just like, screw it, and he like takes off. He's like, I'm a warrior, and in that point in time, you don't know what a warrior means. He's like, I'm a warrior, he's taking off his stuff, and then Berto's like, Reiner, are we really gonna do it here? He's like, yeah. He's like, you're coming with us, and then like he grabs Aaron's thing, and right at that moment, like Mikasa, all you see is like her eye. He's just like locked in with her blade. She turns, she cuts, and you're like, holy crap, let's go, let's do this. She cuts Reiner, like cuts his freaking shoulder blade. She then like stabs Berto. You're like, yes, kill these efforts, kill them right now.
You do,
but then they don't freaking die.
Yeah. Time A where they don't die, where you're like, right.
That's probably the first. Yeah, he was like, Mikasa's a killing machine, and you are a human at this point.
She didn't screw that.
But then they explain that she faltered a little bit. She was hesitant a little bit, so they transform and like they take Aaron.
I want to note that I'm okay with the explanation, right? Because she's still like, this is still her squad mates, right? So I'm generally okay with it, but just the way that they present it on screen, like the severity of the cuts.
Yes.
You know, I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm okay with the explanation. I'm not okay with seeing that.
She was like slight hesitancy of like, she's still after some, as he was like, I'm gonna kill these people. But and then they transform, they grab Aaron, and then Aaron's just like in Reiner's hand, like, I can't believe it. Like, guys, like, and then he gets mad, like, I'll kill you all, and then he transforms in. And then like that is one of the absolute worst like cliffhangers to leave a show on. Like, you're so hyped to see Aaron fight these people, and then it's like, it's like we gotta wait another week, except for you just benched it.
Yeah.
No, the game is sorry.
That was like a super blue ballsy cliffhanger.
Yeah,
and the show is called Attack on Titan. And you don't see that many Titan fights like between Titans. That was a good one.
One of my fondest memories of watching the show at Geo is every time we got a good Titan fight, I would always think of Aziz from Parks and Rec, and I'd always say, Titan fight! Maybe every
Um.
time.
Okay, so Reiner fights Aaron. Aaron actually wins. Like, and you're like, holy crap, Aaron won. Like doing
Gio
some
looks at me. He's
wrestling
like,
moves.
"See, he's
And
finally
He's
useful.
finally
That's
did that.
nice."
yeah. But Reiner somehow drags him to Bertolt's Attack Titan. It was only half built, and they escape somehow. That was a good fight though between Reiner and Aaron. Aaron's like undefeated versus Reiner, which is kind of weird to think because Reiner's like way more just stronger than Aaron and stuff.
Skilled,
Um,
trained, everything.
I love the scene of the colossal titan just falling, and you see its mouth.
yeah, just like
It was like
yeah, just
cool.
like pretty much. Uh,
I will
and
go on record saying I don't think I was ever disappointed in a Titan fight.
It's Titan
I
fight.
think
How
all
could
the
be
Titan fights lived up to the billing.
And the fourth, so many good Titan fights in the fourth season.
all right, so then now Aaron's been kidnapped. They have to go and save him. I feel like I can kind of quickly go over this so we can wrap up season 2. They kind of explain some things that's happening, but they're still keeping information away. Like Aaron wakes up, he has no arms, he just has nubs. Uh,
Okay, so when I
and
first saw that, I probably laughed like just a little bit, and my brain knows what's gonna happen, but just I guess you expect him to like recover faster. Like you expect to see something going on there.
yeah,
How did Emir get there? I don't remember that part.
they when Berto grab. I'm sorry, not Berto. When I believe when Berto was going overboard, he grabs Krista. No, he doesn't grab Krista. I'm sorry. He grabs Ymir as Reiner grab. Yeah, he just grabs Ymir.
Hmm.
I believe when he went overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, threatens. That's what I want. Berto. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Um, so Aaron wakes up with nubs, and like Reiner kind of explains what's happening, but nothing. He doesn't give away fully everything. He doesn't say like, "Oh, we're from so and so," which that's good. They don't want to explain that much to the audience or to they themselves don't care to explain much to Aaron. It was like, "All right, just come with us. Like we won't anyway." I feel like
Well,
not that much is revealed. But
well,
go ahead,
no.
Joe.
There something important is he looks at Eren and like tells him, "Why are your arms cut off?" Like you understand that he's going crazy. That's the
Oh
Oh,
motive
yeah,
point.
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
He's
you.
having like
Yeah.
his
Mm-hmm.
not PTSD is probably not the right word, but
Split personality,
yeah.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at a certain point, Reiner's like, he's like, oh man, but when we get back, we've been gone for a while. Like maybe I can get a promotion and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, and Krista, I can marry that girl. And Berto's like, Reiner, what are you talking about? And Reiner's like, oh yeah. And then even in and they're talking, Berto's like, yeah, Reiner's like, uh, he's a warrior, but sometimes he thinks of himself as a soldier, and that's different. Like they're warrior candidates for Marley, while like the scouts stuff are like soldiers, which is that difference between Reiner. In fact, one of the episodes is called Soldier, which went over like when Reiner was like making sacrifice, like when Reiner sacrificed himself for Connie and saved Connie from that Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was kind of in the mindset of being a soldier, of being a member inside the walls, that split personality. But the warrior part of him uh, finally woke up, and that part split when I don't know if they explain it in this episode or this season. When his psyche kind of split is when Marco was eaten. He's like, "Hey, why is Marco being eaten?" And they're like, "You're the one that took off his ODM gear and fed him to the Titan." And that's when his
Mm-hmm.
psyche split.
I think this is at this point maybe the first time when I started thinking about larger civilization, but beyond the island, not like a little rebel group of camp of people who happen to be titans, or but like in reference to Armin's book and talking about the other lands beyond the sea and stuff, and starting to think about like, this feels bigger than just a handful of people, in a cave somewhere plotting a coup.
I feel like I confused you a little
Yeah.
bit with that because I told you that it was very important that Mikasa was Asian. So you had a lot of theories like, oh, well, then she's
You know what's
Asian.
weird is
Then
that
someone else is Asian.
I just overlooked that for some reason. Like I said, ignorance is bliss when you watch things. And sometimes I'm trying to let the story just tell me what it wants to tell me. But yeah, they made that a point of being like, yeah, Mikasa's mom is fully Asian and like she's rare and stuff. They use the word Oriental, which I'm not sure if that's
But I thought they used it in like an intentionally
like.
derogatory sense.
Did they use it in a directory? Okay, I didn't.
That was
Yeah,
my
you're
takeaway.
right.
Is they're
Well,
being purposefully
I mean,
derogatory.
that could definitely be the case because those are some horrible human beings.
Yeah.
So
Now this is the first time I said I really started thinking about when when they're having these discussions and Rhina's going nuts, and I'm starting to think about like this other entity for whom he is working actively.
Mhm. All right. So yeah. So they get away. Um, Hines comes back and they're like, "Hey, like we're gonna find." He gives a little pep talk to Mikasa and Armin, like Aaron's fighting. Like we're gonna get that suicidal bastard back. Like, and they're like, all right, and they eat food to gain strength and stuff. And that's like a weird. For some, them eating food was a great scene. I couldn't explain why. Um, so they start off and they're headed back to go. They're on the chase to get Aaron back. And one of my favorite scenes, I'm gonna show you here because I looked it up. Mikasa is just like hell bent on. There's a scene where she's like right up against. Uh, oh, this isn't this scene right here
Oh,
with these eyes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Looking up
And
their
she's like
photos.
looking in on him. Uh,
it's terrifying.
oh wait, dang it! How did I do that? Yeah. Uh, she's just like, hey, just let me give him back. And Berto looks scared, crapless in it.
Mhm.
There's also a great Mikasa quote that I think is so pertinent to the whole entire story. So it's like when they're all on top of Reiner, and like they're trying to like kind of get the fingers out, and Mikasa says, I have to go find the quote because um where's the quote? Where's the quote? Warrior. It's probably this episode. Close combat. No, the hunters
While you're looking for
opening.
that, I'm gonna call that I think the show calls your attention to a lot of food scenes where humans are eating stuff very normally and it looks kind of good and appetizing, just as a like direct contrast to make the inhumanity of the
Yeah, then you
like
see the
of the
humans
Titans just
being the food.
chomping on people sort of so vociferously. Like I think it just exists in stark contrast on purpose to be like, oh, look at these inhuman things to make them feel more inhuman.
And usually the eating, since they're like old soldiers, is like a communal thing with a lot of people, so it's a happy moment for a second.
Yeah, and it's always like family style kind of
Mhm.
stuff, and yeah, I think it like just purely exists to be a stark contrast.
Oh wait, what? Did I?
I was trying to decide if you were froze or if you're just
Yeah.
sometimes you're
Oh,
just really
sorry.
good at holding still.
Um. Oh, right. I found it. So Mikasa is essentially like, Krista, I'm about to kill Ymir. I don't care. Like, and because Ymir is kind of like on their side at this point. Well, not on
Mhm.
their
I
side, but
think it's
she's
it's still clearly nebulous at this point, right? Like you want her to
yeah,
be, but you can't tell for sure.
she yeah,
She
she's
says she just
riding.
wants Historia to be alive and do the best for her.
Yeah,
And for some
Yeah,
reason,
she's riding. Go ahead.
and no, and like you don't really understand it because she says that the best for Historia if Ymir goes with Berthold and Rainer and not that she defends Historia, like
Mhm.
that's so confusing.
Yeah. But in the scene, Krista's like, "Don't worry, Ymir." Mikasa's like, "No, I will kill anyone to save Aaron." And she says like, um, she says, "Listen, there's only so many." Mikasa says, she says, because I'm sorry, Krista is trying to convince Mikasa not to kill Ymir, and then Mikasa says, "Listen, there's only so many lives I can give a damn about. Cruel, but that's the world our enemies gave us 6 years ago. Sorry, I don't have any heartstrings left for you to tug on. If you want compassion, move on." And like that is almost indicative of the whole freaking show of like we were put into this position to make this cruel choice. Like, and that's the character arc of Mikasa, right? Mikasa at this point in time is like, I don't have the capacity to care about anyone besides the people that I love.
It's hard
And
enough to protect this
you
one suicidal clown.
yeah, and I will
Worthless.
kill and like I will kill you all to protect him. While the end of the show, Mikasa is like, all right, I gotta go kill this suicidal person that I love the most in the world to protect the rest of the world. Which is that's why I say that like Mikasa in a way is the protagonist, is the most consistent protagonist of the entire show. Her and Armin
Yeah.
are. Because end of the show, Aaron is no longer the protagonist. Not only is he a more of a villainous character, I wouldn't say villainous because I don't think that's word is honest. So much context of things.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not the protagonist in the last season because he is not
He's
just
not the person you're
storytelling
cheering for,
wise.
that's for sure. Which I know isn't a necessary present in every story, but like you are cheering for
Well,
Mikasa and Armin at the end.
he's not even the point of view character at
Yeah.
all. He's not the one and so that shows Mikasa's growth there. But that's one of the quotes that I like just
Well,
love in the
that's kind of
show.
how
And
you
it's
feel as a viewer too, of like just the sheer odds of like, all right, which characters can I afford to get attached to?
yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, yeah. So eventually um eventually an all-out fight happens. Oh, the all the scouts come to rescue Aaron, and then Reiner Bertolt attacks them with like other Titans. Like they call them somehow. I forget how exactly. I think he just screamed out,
No,
and the other Titans heard.
oh yeah, they call him. And then there's Reiner just throws Titans. That's a
Yeah,
great
just
scene.
throwing
Yeah.
Titans. And then they're all pretty much dying. I feel like I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, but that's essentially what's
No, it's just
happening.
it's
Is
a
that
much more compressed set of episodes.
Mhm.
yeah, definitely is definitely at this point. Um, I believe Erwin does some really cool stuff. Erwin gets his hand, he gets his arm chopped off. He's like, "Sure."
Yeah.
like they're they're like, holy crap! Like he's getting his arm bitten off by a titan. He's still leading them to charge. Erwin's such a great freaking character. But yeah, pretty much everything is freaking dire. And Mikasa has this really heartfelt moment of like, Aaron, like you saved me. Like you wrapped this scarf around me. And Aaron's like, and I'm gonna keep wrapping that scarf around you. And he just, oh, I'm sorry, I'm glossing over the fact that the Smiling Titan comes back. He's like, this, like, but he can't do anything because he got numb for arms. He's trying to bite the freaking numbs,
It's not
but he
working.
can't.
Yeah.
He can't do anything. And then Hannes, so freaking great writing, right? You go back to the first episode where Hannes ran away from the Smiling Titan to save uh Mikasa and Aaron, and now he's like, nope, I'm going. I've been waiting for this rematch forever, and he goes to fight, fends off of Smiling Titan, but
Which
still gets
a
killed
great
by
arc
it.
from him for him too, just going from the beginning of nothing's gonna happen, drunk mall cop
Yeah,
to now martyrdom.
Shawn, and
Hmm.
when the smiling titan entered that scene, I was screaming inside of me to you, and you weren't realizing that she was this smiling titan, the one that
Too
killed
many
the
titans,
mom.
man. Can't keep track of them
But
all.
she was so iconic, and you told me like, oh yeah, there's like three iconic titans that I remember: the smiling one, the bearded one, and something.
No, I was telling you on this other podcast I listened to that was kind of popular. What is their Wizard and the Bruiser? It's called something else now. But they were talking about how the non abnormal
Mm-hmm.
titans, they're still just like really common ones, and I thought that was funny.
Oh.
That they had Santa Claus Titan, Smiling Titan. Uh,
Oh yeah.
what's the
There's a finger gun Titan.
yeah,
Uh,
the one that crawls like on the ground, kind of funny and stupid, and I forget what the name, but like those.
there's a Titan that I think people call the Shy Titan. Like there's a scene where they're
Is it
up
the
in
one with
like the
It's
like
woods and
hidden
stuff,
behind the other
and
one.
they're like,
yeah?
like, why the heck are some of these Titans so weird? Like
So
someone's like, oh
In
yeah,
my
these
opinion, it
two.
took you too long to realize it.
well, certainly, and that's the type of detail like I'm always gonna miss. Like, yeah, there's too many Titans, but no, I thought it was funny that like when we first saw, like seeing the Colossal right away, and so you have this idea of like, all right, most Titans are like this, but there are Titans like that, and then you
Mhm.
realize, oh. No, people are naming these regular Titans just based on
Yeah.
their terrifying traits.
Yeah.
Santa Claus Titan's the funniest to me because you do like recognize him later on in like season
Yeah.
4,
Yeah, he
probably
comes
on
back.
the ledge. Yeah, like he's very
Yeah, yeah.
recognizable. No, that's the type of
Um,
detail I'll never be very good at holding on to.
yeah. And then everything is freaking dire. Highness was just killed by a smiling Titan. Aaron is like, you piece of like talking to himself, like nothing's changed. And it's so interesting watching back. Like you wonder, like, are there times that Aaron is talking that he's talking to himself and Aaron himself at that point in time is talking to himself, or is this Aaron from the future at some other point talking to himself through the past? Because there are times that he is talking where he's like where he mentions things and it's like, oh, that's in retrospect, you're like, oh, that's something that
He like
future
planting a
Aaron
seed
was
for
saying.
himself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hadn't thought of that till just now. It's kind of cool.
Hmm.
And so like he's talking to himself in this point in time. It's like you haven't changed at all. Because there are some moments where he's also talking to his dad, and like later in the show where he's like, and it wouldn't say he's coaching, but he's like nudging them on of like, this is your like, isn't this your story? Didn't this belong with you? Like, why did you come here in the first place? Like, you came to kill these kids and stuff. Like, you came to avenge your wife, and so looking back, you sometimes wonder like, all right, which Aaron is talking here? Um, so he's really distraught. Mikasa is just like, Aaron, listen, like pretty much, like you saved me, things like that. And Aaron's like, yeah, I'll keep saving you. And he goes to punch the the
Smiling
the
titan.
uh the smiling like thank you the smiling Titan. And you're like, what the heck is like the moment builds up as if something huge is happening, but nothing really happens. He just punches the smiling Titan, and then nothing happens. And then all these Titans come attacking her. You're like, what the heck is happening? Aaron must have like waken something. And then Reiner and Berto are reacting to it, and they're like, holy crap, out of everyone in the world that could have gotten this power, he is the worst person to get it. And it's like they call him the coordinate at this point, that he's the coordinate, which they didn't know he was the coordinate. And that's kind of how the
That's
season ends.
yeah,
It just
that's
ends with Reiner and Berto fighting off Titans that Aaron sent his direction.
And then do you see the
And
Beast
Reiner
Titan right at
Berto,
the end? Or something like that? Do they hint at the Beast Titan at all?
Probably.
uh,
I was feeling like you saw him. Maybe that, maybe not.
No, like you see, cause you see
yeah,
like
yeah,
them
you do.
together at the Maria wall, but you like the Eren and Mikasa
Oh,
don't see the
Yeah.
Beast Titan. Like you see
Because I thought that was a cool
Mhm.
teaser.
You see,
Yeah,
what's
so
the
they
guy of the Beast Titan? Zeke coming out with the Beast
Zeke.
Titan.
yeah, so they show they do a slight flash forward after like you see Reiner and them fighting, and then they flash forward to like Reiner, Ymir, and Berto on top of a wall, like they got away, and then she's willing to give herself up for him.
Mhm.
And then you see a quick conversation with uh with Levi, Pixies, and Erwin because Hanji comes in with Connie, and Connie's like, "These were people. Like, I'm pretty sure that's my mom," and they're still like, "Huh? Oh, okay." Um, and then at this point, like, um, Levi says he's like, "You're telling me this whole time I've been killing humans?" And Levi is like the best killer of them.
He's
It's
the
like, all right, well,
best
how do you?
murderer we know outside of Mikasa.
Yeah.
So it's at that point, at the coordinate point, where like my brain just couldn't put all these pieces. Yeah, I was like, all right, I know I'm surprised, right? They all come and attacking her, clearly not hurting Eren. And they're like, they call him the coordinate. And so Geo did a tremendous job. Geo, as you did the whole time, for the record, of like, not telling me, but you're just like, hey, just note this, right? This is what you saw
Mhm.
right here. And just hang on to that. In half a season, we will address it. Address it
Yeah.
later. But it's just of like, all right, just make sure you know you saw what you saw. This is what happened. You saw
Mhm.
this thing punch and that person touch there, and hang on to that info.
I mean, they do then explain it every time. Like they explain it. They show you the free. What's her name? I remember she was the Smiley Titan, the ex-wife uh of Grisha. But then they explain it. Like they show it to you that she had royal blood, and that's why when Eren punched you, it's not like they kind of hinted and leave it there. No,
Yeah.
they explain it then.
Mhm. Oh, and then a weird thing. So once Levi gets over that shock of like, I've been killing people this whole time, it shows Erwin and he's smiling, and you're kind of like, what the heck is he smiling about? But it's more of a smile of like, finally, like we know more information now. Like we know that they were people. Like Erwin has always been about learning about the Titans,
Yeah. Well, and it's
and then
sad,
it,
but
and then it,
also it's not like he was killing them for fun, right? Like
yeah,
obviously I would have been distraught and sort of sickened as well, but I don't know. He handled it well.
I mean, and Elwin, he's kind of a psycho.
A little bit. Yeah.
Like
oh, absolutely, yeah,
he always put finding out stuff and keeping Eren alive in front of everything. Basically, like his whole purpose of life was to find out what's
That's big
outside the
picture thinking
walls.
though. That's still like
Mhm.
again, the what is it? The path to hell is paved with good intentions or whatever, but like good big picture intentions of I'm not worried about the battle, I'm worried about the war.
That's isn't that like part of his speech at the end of season 3 at the big fight there when against
Something
the
about sacrificing the sacrifices today. I don't remember how he says it, but sacrifices
Yeah.
today contributing to tomorrow or whatever.
Well, it was definitely crazy.
yeah. No, definitely was. And then like you guys said, it zooms all the way up to the Beast Titan. You see the Beast Titan, and then it zooms in to the person inside the Beast Titan with the glasses, which is Zeke Jaeger.
Handsome bearded blonde fella.
Yeah, he was ripped.
Yeah, all of them are ripped always.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a great. Oh yeah, you want ripped abs? You can have them for 13 years. Just become a Titan.
13.
give it time. So season
And
2
Sean, did
for me.
you?
What?
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead, go.
I was gonna go into wrap up mode. So if you had a specific question,
No, I was just gonna ask about the end credits because in the end credits they show like things about it. So I'm just watching the end credits
I
now.
don't recall specifically. No.
Okay. They just show like almost those vintage, those mural-ish pictures of Titans and stuff, and they also show a king feeding three little girls something with blood and stuff.
It's that
Do you remember?
creepy outro
Yeah,
ending with like
yeah, like
very
these.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
church voices
Well,
and
like those three little girls are like eating hearts and stuff, and Titans attacking walls and stuff, just explaining
you.
without telling you anything.
I think you did notice it because I think remembering that you addressed it to me, like the idea was a weird. There was weird stuff happening on the, but you didn't really think about it too much, like
Probably not.
normally and rightfully so.
Uh,
But yeah, wrapping up.
so season 2 for me, and this is gonna sound negative, but it is not at all negative, is that season 2 felt like it should have just been in season 1, right? Like they all sort of take place in a similar bucket, in a similar time frame, similar goals. Whereas then like season 3 and season 4 each feel sort of distinctly different. So that being said, when I say I like season 1 the best, and I kind of include like season 1, season 2 to me, that was like one big bunch that could have been one big season. Uh, and I still like the way that I'm on the hook at this point. Like I feel like I'm still firmly entrenched in like, man, there's so many questions that yeah, I learned about Ryan Bertolt and Emir, a little more about Aaron, but like we've still only teased and hinted at this larger world.
I wouldn't divide it
Firmly on the hook.
in a different way. Like there's a part of season 2 when you still believe that the enemy is the Titan until you discover that the enemy is actually a person, and then the whole first part of season 3, even if it's different persons, it's human against human. Titans aren't really a big thing in the first part of season 3. That's a bad part. I think didn't like.
Mhm.
And then I would like the part of the Shiganshina fight, which was the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever. I love that part of all that fight. I would have put it like on another season, because it. Like I say that the third season is the one that I like the less, but that part of Shiganshina I like the most. But it's so annoying the start of season 3. The first episode,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
First 12 episodes. Next episode we'll skim through
Yeah.
pretty quickly,
Yeah.
I think.
but that like I said, that being said, I mean it as a compliment to season 2. And it flows right from season 1, and I like those both because of the grander mysteries that I want to be unfolded.
Season one is probably, man, my favorite parts come from season three. I can explain later when we wrap stuff fully up. But it's hard. I don't know right now what my favorite season is, to be honest.
I'm sure it's season 4 also because Mappa did a incredible job, honestly, on everything. The animating, I love
Yeah.
the studio up design Mappa. So that's also helps, and there's more badass characters in season 4. And annoying.
Ugh.
Flock. Oh my god.
Yeah, flock that guy.
Flock is a ride or die.
Flock that guy. He should have ride or died already, long time ago.
Flock has almost more character, more plot armor than Reiner does. It's like I thought Flock was dead, and then he comes back.
That's I think Rhino has more, but I think there's a better argument to be made than one might think.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
bullshit is that he survives attached to the line, like during they go over
Yes,
the
that's
ocean?
the
Like,
one.
that's
That's like,
no,
you should've
no,
drowned.
never survived there.
Yeah, that's garbage.
And then luckily hits the carbon, the tank there of the.
But all that being said, Gio's got a soccer game in the morning and he likes his sleep, so it's,
You.
it is time.
Oh.
That was
Yes.
so that was season 1 and 2, Attack on Titan, and then next time we'll do 3 and 4. And if you celebrate Easter, that's going to happen sometime in there. So celebrate as you please. Chris, thanks for leading the discussion. Gio, thanks for staying up really late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this Avatar: The Last Podcasters, I'll put all the stuff down in the description. Any likes, thumbs up, positive reviews, all that stuff, we really appreciate it.
Do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
do it.
somebody can insult Shawn about being wrong about the surprise, and please do it.
I was,
It's
They-
very important.
I've seen a lot of reviews and a lot of reactions to that specific moment. And Shawn, you're the first one to have any remotely negative response to it, let alone a very 30-minute conversation around.
I empower
I love the
people.
conversation.
I empower people to feel feelings that they want to feel, and that's great. And they should. Good for them. And to put that in the reviews of our show, unless it's negative. Okay, don't do that because we're sensitive as a group. No. Thanks for listening to Avatar or watching Avatar: The Last Podcasters. And yeah, we'll see you next time with the rest of this episode. See you later.